And good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to today's episode of Aussie Overlaw'd Presents Law, News, and Laughter. On the docket today, we have Rick Astley suing Young Gravy for too good of an imitation of his voice. A young girl steals 3 cars and has been charged, and unfortunately, a 60-year-old man has lost his life to a snake bite. All that and more coming up in today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter. G'day, y'all. Let's get stuck into it. On this channel, we look at legal cases and concepts, world domination, news, and just generally shoot the breeze. We don't give any legal advice, but we can answer questions and hopefully point you in the right direction. We do not shy away from the topics that seem so if necessary, put on your big kid pants, have a cup of concrete, and pull up a chair. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or via email, and all complaints can be directed to our complaints department. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe buttons, and now let's get into it. Alrighty, so to start with, let's just double check that the chat is working. We have Maddie Graham saying hello, Just Dawn, John D, Young Gravy, lol, waiting for Hayden to come back on, be back later, Norris Tina, all is quiet here, Son and Kitty are asleep, love it. Thumbs up, live chat, ready to go. Aloha from Kansas, y'all. Hello, PFAS. How are you doing? How's the foot? Look, it's still twinging. I'm still limping slightly, but it's currently resting on a pillow, so we are okay. Audience awaits. Yes, it does. Apologies for running late. Is the CZ-134 safe, Hayden? Is it at the agreed hiding spot? No, we've had to go for the alternate arrangement of the alternate arrangement. It will be safe for the next 36 hours. I suggest you move quickly. Salutations, greedy bloke. Hello, here to sift copy and rub one out, and I'm all out of coffee. Of course you are, Glitterfart. Remind me to Uber Eats you some. Is he going to pull a Nick and be late? Yes, unfortunately. I was, unfortunately behind the times on that one. Bum himself up in front of a mirror at the moment. Ooh, I am a neat guy. God, there's probably plenty of people that did not just get that Friends reference. Impish is in the house. Aaron Morgan. Valhalla. Congratulations on the goats. Babies. Leanie. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Post short earlier. Be recording and making a new video soon. Well, there you go. Hello, Linda. Lovely Linda. Good to see you. Just Dawn. Made it back before we started. Hey. Alright, quickly whip through, see if there's any new names. Achiro, having babies is racist unless you're the elite. Well, it's fine, because he's having kids. Baby goat, do. Alright. And also over on Rumble we have Sporkio, hashtag I stand with gravy. Astley coming off as a money grubber. Just read the court document. But the IANAL. Okay. Case seems R-worded. Yes, please remember to hit the thumbs up. That would be very much appreciated. Yes, we are going to go through. Hey, Jacob Sprout Marjorie, how you doing? Call them casserole and curry. The goats. That would be quite funny. Hello, Mimi. And Esprit Flex in the house. Hello to you too. We will be going through the court documents. We will be having a bit of fun with this. Let's face it, because it's way too easy. There's going to be a few of those, so strap yourselves in. Or strap yourselves on. Either way. I don't, to each their own. Hello, Adriana. How you doing? Tammy Holcomb. Hello. Good to see you. Put on your naughty pants. No, that's tomorrow. Send a link to my phone and I can live stream a goat birth right now. I'd rather not do that on my stream. You feel free to record what you like. Thanks for waiting for you. Almost home. Oh, anytime, mate. Anytime. Hello, Caitlin. And What is a Young Gravy and does it require antibiotics? You would think. Honestly, you would think. Oh, Jay, thank you very much for chucking the link tree in. I knew there was something I forgot to do this morning. Just giving you opportunity. No, look, that's fine. Let's face it, I don't have StreamYard set up at the moment anyway, so sending you a link would be very difficult. We would literally have goat babies, but no sound, so was there any point? Because we wouldn't be able to hear the bleeding. And just put on my inflatable strap on, let's fucking go. Alright, let's get stuck into it, shall we? We're going to start off with the TMZ article, a couple other news articles, including Rolling Stones, and then we'll get stuck into the court documents. Alright. Let's fucking go! Young Gravy rickrolled in court, sued by Rick Astley for Betty get money. Make this a bit bigger. Young Gravy is getting a legal rickrolling from the man himself, Rick Astley, who is suing the up-and-coming rapper for allegedly ripping off the singer's voice from his most popular hit. Astley filed legal documents Thursday in LA, claiming that Gravy's hugely popular Betty Get Money uses an impersonated voice of his own from 1987's Never Gonna Give You Up. In the documents obtained by TMZ, Astley says Gravy and his producers, including Dylan Francis, conspired to include a deliberate and nearly indistinguishable imitation of Mr. Astley's voice throughout the song. There have been plenty of people that have been fooled into thinking that it is Rick Astley. This case, although it does seem like a money grubber, is more than likely going to succeed, in my personal opinion. So... he's also suing Nick Seeley, aka Pop Nick, for the vocal impersonation. I'm not going to play that because I will definitely get copy claimed. Although, to be fair, I'm probably going to get copy claimed for all the different rickrolling that I've been doing anyway, so shit happens. Oh, I am way too zoomed in for the screen there. There we go. Astley says he never gave Gravy or anyone involved in Betty permission to use or impersonate his voice, but Gravy did so. He spoiled his future chance with Rick to collaborate with him in the future. We should say, however, Gravy did license the instrumental from Astley's 80s hit, just not his voice. He did actually have a license agreement so that he could use parts of Never Gonna Give You Up. And then he was stupid enough to use the vocals. So... Wait, was that 87? That's a great year, lol, my birth year. Oh, there you go, Lenny. Wow, Lenny, you're only a year older than my wife. Cool. What's more, Astley's lawsuit points to some examples where Gravy allegedly claimed that he knew he was in murky territory for impersonating Rick, including an interview with Billboard where he said he basically remade Rick's voice, basically to make it easier legally. Never Gonna Give You Up was a huge hit for Astley, shooting to #1 spot. Betty has been Gravy's most successful song thus far, reaching gold in the US, Canada, and Australia. Astley is suing for a few $1 million. Never listened to a white man singing named Gravy. Always been great allowing people to use and share his songs, but this guy went too far. Yes. Doing an impersonation of someone's voice is pretty standard in these kinds of things. Well, I would assume that in most cases people would have the license to do so, because it's not exactly parody if they're going to be using a if it's damn near identical. Which, from the sounds of it, people are actually up in arms because it does sound like him. 88 was because Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Give You. It was a hit, you remember? Yep. Alright, Rolling Stones article. Rick Astley hits Young Gravy with a lawsuit, alleges voice imitation. Astley's accused the rapper of impersonating his voice from the 1987 hit Never Gonna Give You Up. Well, no shit. Damn, Rick looks old. There's a kangaroo in the Young Gravy video? Is there really? Interesting. Rick Astley, whose 87 hit, Never Gonna Give You Up, is embedded in Americana and meme history, is suing rapper Young Gravy for impersonating his voice, Billboard reports. I actually probably should look at the actual Billboard interview as well. So, Astley alleges that the Gravy's 2022 breakout hit Betty Get Money imitated his voice without legal authorization. The lawsuit was filed on Thursday in Los Angeles and claims that it imitated his distinct voice in the 80s classic. In an effort to capitalize off the immense popularity and goodwill of Mr. Astley, the defendants conspired to include a deliberate and nearly indistinguishable imitation of Mr. Astley's voice throughout the song, his attorneys have alleged. The public could not tell the difference. The imitation of Mr. Astley's voice was so successful, the public believed that it was actually Mr. Astley singing. You're hoping to get him to... Representatives for Young Gravy did not immediately return Rolling Stone's request for comment. During the making of Betty, Gravy and his team allegedly got the green light to use the instrumental to Give You Up, but not Astley's vocals. The filing states that Gravy did not have the rights to use the actual sound recording of the track, known as sampling. In order to imitate the... Okay, so they didn't even actually have the sampling for it. They had the instrumental. Okay. For those who feel old, I was born in the 50s, says Tina. We all stop saying how old you were in 87, make me feel ancient. Thank you very much. Mimi was -3. Mimi wasn't even a sparkle in her parents' eyes. -1. Oh, let's see, 87. -4. In order to imitate the singer's signature voice, the suit alleges that Gravy hired Nick Popnik Seeley, who, fun fact, wrote the beat for Get Swifty in the animated series Rick and Morty. The lawsuit even quotes an Instagram video in which Popnik says he intends for the song to sound identical to Astley's voice. Okay, just listen to it, can see why. It's a really good imitation. Well, there you go. Yes, please, people, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I've got to get over this hump. I've got to get over this 8,500 hump. I really do. Thank you to the 61 of you that are watching on YouTube. And, oh, I need to reload Rumble. Wait, is the live? No. Has something happened with the... Is the Rumble live stream not going? Oh, come on. Hang on. Failed to connect. Oh, Rumble's down. Breaking Rumble connection. Need to go over to YouTube, peeps. Sorry. Okay, that's a shame. I'm never gonna run around and desert you. I thought the vocals from it doing A versus B and post on Discord. That'd be nice. Thank you, Migraine, so I can have a look at that. Let's get more humps. I mean, subs. Help this Aussie out. That'd be nice. Australia. Hope your January 26th was great. It was fantastic, honestly. Had a barbecue. Spent time with the family. And for anyone that watched the Australia Day special, you would know. Australia Day to me is all about my little girl and her future. So, yes. And let's face it, there's been a whole big blow up, and at some point I'm going to have to do a whole new thing on it, because over the last 4 or 5 days, there's been calls for all sorts of things. People have been getting called out. People have been... pretty much what you expect when there's like a row over something that people are claiming, pulling the race card, or they're pulling, colonisation. Lydia Thorpe literally came out and said it's 200 years later and we're still at war. Like, and I've gotten completely off track here, but anyway. Remember people going out with their dads and coming home with their mothers? Can't even log into Rumble? Oh, that sucks. Planning on going back and rewatching it. Well, look, you'll have to do it quick because at the moment it's unlisted, and I will be making it a private because Little Lady Overlord does make an appearance at the end, and after the fact, the wife and I talked about it, and we decided it's probably a good idea that she's not publicly available. Have to sell yourself on Nick's show. Don't be quiet. Jump a little. I actually need a reason to go back on Nick's show, or a reason to have him on here. But I'm still trying to find some. I'm still trying to locate the content, shall we say? YouTube's trying to boot you in. Lovely. Okay, where was I? Alright, and Mark. A license to use the original underlying music composition does not authorise the stealing of the artist's voice in the original recording, Astley's legal team stated. So instead, they resorted to the theft of Mr. Astley's voice without a license and without agreement. Never Gonna Give You Up reached #1 in 25 countries. Betty reached gold status in the US, with the New York Times heralding it as a real-life rock and roll that functioned as a comedy song, a TikTok trend, and a nostalgia trip all at once. So... okay, where's this Billboard article? No, I don't care about the video. When does a sound-alike sound a little too much alike? Rick Astley suing Young Gravy, which we know. Over the Rapper's breakout hit in 2022. They used an interpolation that sounded a whole lot like an outright sample, broke the law by impersonating Rick Astley's voice. In the lawsuit filed on Thursday, the 26th of January in a Los Angeles court, Astley claims that Betty Get Money, which reached number 30 in the Hot 100 last year, violated the singer's so-called right to publicity because it closely mimicked the distinct voice and it used the chart-topping 1987 hit. In an effort to capitalise off the immensely popular goodwill of Mr. Astley, the defendants conspired to include a deliberate and nearly indistinguishable imitation of Mr. Astley's voice throughout the song. Astley's lawyer wrote, "The public could not tell the difference. The imitation of Mr. Astley's voice was so successful the public believed that it was actually him singing." Pulling heavily from the song that boomed in recent years thanks to the Rick roll, which I do not have. Internet memes. Betty was a major hit for Young Gravy, but it often drew large attention largely for its connection to Astley. The New York Times called it a real-life Rick roll that functioned as a comedy song, a TikTok trend, and a nostalgia trip all at once. Way to pull the same quote twice in the same thing. You can both compare and contrast the Baldo. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. It got held up at customs. Which, by the way, people, if you haven't noticed, down in the description of the video now, if you do want to send anything in the post, I have an American address now. You send things there, I then pay to have them shipped here. So, saves you time, effort, and customs charges. So, by all means, if there's anything you want to send me, provided it's not a giant phallus, mighty, I'm more than happy for it to be there. Just keep in mind, I do get to review the items before they're sent to me, so nothing illegal, people, okay? Also, the place where they're being sent may need to open and reorganize it, or combine shipping and things like that, so if there are specific things in there that need to be marked private or something, write it on the box, okay? Okay. The Friday Fun stream. I would love to get on a Friday Fun stream. I'm just not sure that we... Yeah, I don't know. We'll work on it. Just ordered a shepherd's pie with ground beef without mushroom gravy. Not a fan of shrooms of any sort. That's fair. I couldn't even eat mushrooms for a long time there. I'm not surprised it was held up in customs. What's illegal in Australia? For the most part, when you're sending things in through customs, it's more things that are like animal fur for obvious reasons. Any like not package sealed food goods will also get stopped, and you know, obvious things like drugs, guns, money, all that sort of stuff as well. Really was this Baldo? I paid for it, so I expected it to be delivered. If you get any bottles or jars that look empty, they're not. They have a fart in them. Ugh. People would really bother doing that? Yep, there it is there. Thank you for that, Joe. plate of fried eggs is a no. If only because I can't do fried eggs. I cannot stand the smell of fried eggs. Okay. In the new lawsuit, Astley's lawyers said the singer was extremely protective of his name, image, and likeness, meaning that the unauthorized use of the sound-alike had caused him immense damage. This is why this sounds like a money grab. This is like... representatives for Gravy, real name Matthew Houari, and Universal Music Group's Republic Records, also named in the lawsuit as the label that released Betty, did not immediately return a request for comment. Thursday's lawsuit raises big questions about the methods used in the music industry to legally borrow from older songs, an even more popular tactic in a nostalgia-heavy age. Not to mention, we've also got things like jingles that sort of borrow heavily from various things, and there's any number of ways that music are used these days. I mean, I'm very bloody careful as to what music goes into my streams and that sort of thing, because it's just so much with the way the copyright system's set up, with the way that YouTube is just a little bit annoying, then it's sort of like, what's the point? But anyway. When they created Betty, Gravy and his team allegedly cleared the underlying music composition to Give You Up, which Astley does not own. That gave them the legal right to recreate music and lyrics from the original song in their track, known as interpolating. Thinking back, Black Box got sued twice for Right on Time, once for actual sampling, the second time for an interpolation of the vocals. They lost the first but won the second. Well, this will be an interesting case. But the lawsuit says Gravy and his team were unable to secure a license to use the actual sound of the recording of the famous track in the better-known process of sampling. That would mean that they didn't have any right to directly copy the exact sounds, including Astley's voice. Stream Hogwarts Legacy and get tons of strikes from music. Pfft. Guys, I'm looking at whether or not it's appropriate for me to go back to doing some gaming streams. A lot of people would get really bored by it, but I don't know, maybe I'll start doing them on Twitch again, in which case the copyright thing's not such a big thing there as far as I'm aware. Because, you know, it's in a game. Sending dried monkeys is definitely illegal. Instead, Astley says they hired Popnik, real name Nick Seeley, to imitate Astley's signature voice on the track. At one point, the lawsuit quotes from an Instagram video in which Popnik said he wanted the song to sound identical to Astley's voice. By doing so without permission, the lawsuit claims that Gravy and Popnik violated Astley's right to publicity, the legal right to control how your name, image, or likeness is commercially exploited by others. Right up until you're dead, anyway. Nothing boring about Hogwarts, just saying I don't like video games and even I want to see that shit. Oh, well, there you go. Make your own music for your videos. I wish I was that talented when it comes to music. Sometimes I really do feel like I'm tone deaf. Devil's in the details of the contract. That is very true. A license to use the original underlying music composition does not authorize the stealing of the artist's voice in the original recording, his lawyers wrote. So instead, they resorted to the theft of Mr. Astley's voice without a license and without agreement. Astley's allegations rely heavily on a 1988 federal court ruling in which Bette Midler successfully sued the Ford Motor Co. for violating her right to publicity by running a series of commercials featuring a Midler impersonator. In that case, the court sided with Midler even though Ford had obtained a license to the underlying song. The new lawsuit was filed by Richard Bush, a prominent music litigator, best known for winning the blockbuster copyright case over Blurred Lines. In a statement to Billboard, he said, Mr. Astley owns his voice. California law is clear since the Bette Midler case more than 30 years ago that nobody has the right to imitate or use it without his permission. In addition to violating Astley's right to publicity, the lawsuit also accuses Gravy of violating the federal trademark law by making false statements that made it appear that the singer was endorsing the new song. In an interview with Billboard, Gravy said that he spoke with Astley and the singer had approved of the new song, that he fucks with the song. These statements are all false, said Astley in the lawsuit. Cricket Shine, hello. I believe that's a new name. Good to see you. Nike found this out the hard way with John Lennon's estate. No different to AI-generated photos, in my opinion. While I agree it's technically someone else's voice. Tough case. Love Rick and Ozzy. Oh, thank you, American Dreamer. I think this is slightly different because it's a different medium. Whereas AI uses something to interpret the styling of someone and produce something new. This is basically them trying to recreate something to the best of their ability. That to me is, I think there is a slight distinction there. But you're not wrong. The whole AI thing, the way that they're bringing in new songs, new music, all that sort of stuff, I think that is going to turn into a very big legal minefield in terms of copyright and trademark law. I will be very interested to see where it goes in the next, say, 3 to 5 years. Alrighty. I got 2 more. I'm not sure if I want to keep breeding the same news over and over again, so I'm just going to quickly look. Young Gun sued by Rick Astley for theft of voice. Is it possible for a Rick roll to go too far? 26-year-old rapper Young Gravy may be about to find out. I don't mind how they've said that. All the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. Well, there is that too. Astley does not own the musical rights to the track. Owners Stock Aitken Waterman granted Gravy and his collaborators the right to interpolate the track, but denied a request to sample it, meaning the rapper was not allowed to perfectly replicate any of the sounds of the original song. Hey, Dwayne. Would it still be illegal if that was his normal singing voice instead of impersonating him? Yes, because then that would be direct use of the lyrics, which I don't think they had the license to do either. But I think that would be more of a case in Young Gravy's favour. Interesting. Ashley read that. License to use the original underlying music composition. It's not authorized to stealing the voice in the original. Okay, so now, yeah, so they're just doing quotes out of that. What am I drinking? I am drinking an energy drink to make sure that I stay awake. This is V energy drink, which contains guarana, caffeine, carbonated water, sugar, acidity regulators, citric acid and sodium citrate, taurine, guarana, caffeine, a word that I cannot even pronounce, glucuronomolactone, color, caramel 4, flavors, intersol, vitamins, niacin B3, B5, pantothenic acid B5, riboflavin. Contains wheat derivatives. Heart attack in a can, pretty much. But it'll keep me awake. That is the main thing. Don't see how AI companies would be able to copyright their content. Well, it's the same thing. So there was the argument over the monkey that took the photo with a photographer's camera. They were trying to argue over who had copyright to the photo because the medium itself is the photo. So does something that wouldn't ordinarily have copyright rights have those rights? And if not, does that mean that the owner of the monkey owns the photo? Or does that mean that the owner of the camera owns the photo? Now, I can't remember exactly how that resolved. But it's one of those things where it'll be very interesting. The users should be able to, but not the AI companies. Well, I think when the base information that you're putting in is unique to the individual that is utilizing it, then I think that, yes, I agree with you on that. It will depend on what they put into the license agreements for you to actually use the software. It would be my personal opinion. The judge might rule that Gravy has a contract that basically gives him nothing. Tom Verlaine is dead. Oh, no shit. Okay. Well, we'll cover that in a minute. Fuck ton of sugar is what it is. Yeah, probably. Monkey won, I think. I'm pretty sure the monkey did, actually. Ozzy Hunk, when Shaggy was a self-taught singer and songwriter. He has some great music. I might be biased, but I was so proud of him. No, you weren't. It's not that you were proud of him. You continue to be proud of him. He always wanted to be a rock star. Would the owner of the mop get paid, or the person using the mop? Yeah, but that's the difference. So we're talking about... So, in that instance, you're right. It would be the person using the mop would get paid. but you're using a very specific instance there where there are two people, whereas there's the distinction between two, we'll call them objects or processes or things that ordinarily would not have rights to copyright. So, for example, in this instance, the thing doing the work, yes, the person using it is inputting the prompt into the AI. So, yeah, from that perspective, I would expect that it would be the person, that would be the end user that would get the, that would receive the copyright in it. Slightly different in the monkey situation, but anyway. Appears that Elon's showing his ass with the Eliza Blue situation. Oh, look, I'm not going into that shit, honestly. If you're interested in the Eliza Blue shit, I think Farron's been showing a documentary she's put together for the last, 3 or 4 hours over on her channel. Feel free to go and watch that. I, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, it is an abuse of the Twitter processes. That is the cut and dry end of it for me. Because I don't know any of them on a personal level. I've never engaged with any of the content creators that have been struck. But the fact that someone can abuse the system like that pisses me the fuck off. And that's about really where I'm going to be sitting on that. Free yellow flash? Yeah. What if a monkey writes the song? Well, that's just it. I mean, does the owner of the monkey, or does the monkey have the copyright? So OBS would own your content? Oh, please, OBS. Many people would own a lot of my content, let's face it. Smash the like button like it was a hot 10 with E-cups. Heyo. Oh, to watch Farron when I have you. Oh, thank you, Dwayne. Sorry, I'm late. Had to make dinner. Toasted hot ham and cheese and potato wedges. Yum. Sent me a funny story on Discord. I don't have a Discord open at the moment. I'll have a look. Been out of it, so I have no idea about this Eliza shit. Basically, okay, so let's break it down, okay? Just for the hell of it, because then I can click this later and I can use it as a thing. So, hang on. Okay, so the whole Eliza Blue thing, because I started looking into it, but anyway. Basically, she was in a music video 6 years ago. Now, someone took a photo of that. Now, I'm steering clear of the sex trafficking stuff because, to me, that is irrelevant. What she has done to the content creators on Twitter is that people that have taken a still from that music video, which was available for 6 years, they took a still, they retweeted it, they said whatever, and she basically used the revenge porn clauses of the Twitter posting, of the Twitter policies, to have these people banned. Because supposedly taking a still from a video that she doesn't own the rights to was then releasing an intimate photo without consent. So no, as far as I'm concerned, that is an abuse of the process. Stay away from it, you don't want to get struck or sued. Nothing that I have just said there is in any way anything other than an illegal analysis. They want to do that, then hell, I'll take a case against them. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not calling her any sort of. I'm not calling her names. I'm not saying anything about her. I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not doing anything aside from the fact that it has been an inappropriate use of the Twitter policies, as far as I'm concerned, and the people should not have been struck for it. And I very much commend them for sticking to their guns and not deleting tweets and whatnot. But it is a serious issue, in my opinion, if someone is using that as a means of enforcing their own personal agenda. And I do not think it's appropriate. So. She made you stand up for Jeremy. Don't quite care for him at all. Well, there you go. Just got here talking about Eliza. Just very briefly, because someone asked for my opinion on it. I've given it now. That's going to be the end of it. Because, as I said, I have no skin or I have no skin in the game or dog in that fight. I very much support the content creators that have been struck, though. But I've never dealt with any of them personally, so I don't know any of the backgrounds. I don't know anything like that. I do believe that, as I said, it's an abusive Twitter process that should not have taken place. I watched Eric and Nate calling out those who are being protected by Twitter. Okay. Alright, let's get back into the news. Stay well clear of that shit or we'll have nothing to watch. Okay. Gravy first gained prominence in 2017 with the SoundCloud viral hit Mr. Clean. Since then, he released a handful of platinum and gold certified hits and achieved vast viral notoriety thanks to his TikTok account, which has over 7 million followers. Is this seriously? This is how we're getting our musical talent these days? They're remixing things off SoundCloud and they're like, no, I get you looking out for me, Marty. It's fine. Twitter should absolutely be held accountable. What was I going to say? I'm going to sound really old here, but what the hell happened to writing decent music yourself, rather than sampling others? And I mean, look, I know the whole thing about the 4-chord song. Most of the major hits over the last 40, 50 years, you can replicate using the same 4 chords, but whilst there is nothing new under the sun, I'm still not going to sit there and listen to people just continually remixing other people's work. Like, it's a waste of my time. So yes, I'm feeling old here because it's like I can't think of the last time there was a new song that's come out that I actually legitimately have enjoyed. I think it's probably been... God, well, actually, you know what? Hang on. I'm going to look at my Spotify playlist. I'm going to be right back. Music died in 84. Oh, no, look, there's been some good music since then. Writing Your Own Music died with the Dodo Bird. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Alright, let me just have a quick look here. Spotify. Oh, I'm not actually logged in. Hang on. Log in. This is what happens. I got a new phone last week because the screen on my phone just mysteriously died. Okay? And there are so many apps and things that I still haven't changed the settings on, that I still haven't... Things made for Hayden... No? What am I logged in as, then? I've got premium. Why? Annoying. At this point, I'm going to have... Maybe I'll just open it on my computer. And Spotify. It is not installed on my computer. What the Yes, continue with Facebook. Because I know that I was logged into Spotify with Facebook at one point. Dismiss. Yes, library. Okay, so. Where's my Pump Up playlist? For anyone that wants to know, I do have two playlists on Spotify, which I'm more than happy to share with people. One of which is called Pump It, which is a compilation of songs that got me through law school, and basically nothing really changes there. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. What was the most recent song that I've added to this? So most recent song. We got some Queen there. We got some Wolf Mother. We got the Killers. Jimmy Eats World. Imagine Dragons. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Fortunate Son. Avicii. None of this really changes. There's some Ed Sheeran in there. Hilltop Hoods. I don't reckon I've added a song there that is more recent than 2017 or something like that. Mind you, for anyone that wants a killer driving song, Perfect Day by the Constellations, I wholeheartedly support that. Where are we? Arctic Monkeys is the only good thing since then. Music died in the 70s. 2000s was the end of good music. Love Your NSYNC, Britney Spears from back then. That's a fair call. prefer audiobooks. Yeah, record companies can't take a risk on a band like the Beatles or Green Day. They have to stick to generic pop that will turn a profit for sure. They don't have the money to risk anymore. That's a good point. What's your favourite song, Hayden? Seven Spanish Angels. That's actually really difficult as to what a favourite song would be. I do like Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Again, Perfect Day always gets me going. Try the Persona 5 soundtrack, got great music. Interesting. Okay, anyway. How about we get stuck into this court proceeding, shall we? Okay. In the Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles. No case number yet, because it has yet. So you bet, raise you a George Strait and Mel Haggard. Hayden loves Eurotrash, I bet. Eurotrash? What the hell is Eurotrash? And more to the point, I highly doubt it. Most of my stuff is American. Or Aussie. There's a whole heap of AC/DC in there, so... Quote from my friend Howie Klein, used to run half of Warner Brothers record labels. He also said he loved the Ramones, but Madonna paid the bills. Interesting. Okay. From the CEO, retired in 04 because he said MP3s destroyed the market. Yeah, well, I mean, when a new technology comes along like that that's going to disrupt things, you can kind of understand that. Okay. Demand for a jury trial. Alright, the complaint. Introduction. A voice is as distinct and personal as a face. The human voice is one of the most palpable ways identity is manifested. We are all aware that a friend is at once known by a few words on the phone. At a philosophical level, it's been observed that with the sound of a voice, the other stands before me. A fortiori, these observations hold true of singing, especially singing by a singer of renown. The singer manifests themselves in the song. To impersonate their voice is to pirate their identity. Quoting case law, the Bette Midler case quoted above has been law in California now for more than 30 years. It is well known in the music industry and forbids someone from imitating a singer's voice from an original recording in the new recording absent specific permission to do so, which he did not have. This is true even where, like the Bette Midler case, the impersonator obtained a license to use the musical composition to the song that the singer's voice is found in, which again, they didn't. Worried about you until you said AC/DC and Aussie, Hayden. Damn, I thought I was going to have to unsub. No, look. In terms of Aussies, I'm always going to go to AC/DC, In Excess, Cold Chisel, Barnsey, when he went off on his own. There's plenty of Aussie singers that are in the thing. So Angels, Kylie, no, that's a little bit too pop for me, honestly. There's like The Wife Loves the Ballads. I can't do ballads. Impersonating is different, sounding similar. Yes. Savage Garden, Smashing Pumpkins. Oh shit, what's the Human Nature? Maybe. There's a few things there. A voice is not copyrightable. The sounds are not fixed. What is put forward as protectable here is more personal than any work of authorship. As mentioned, there is no secret that everyone in the music industry knows this, and despite this, as described at length in the complaint, the defendants flagrantly impersonated plaintiff Rick Astley's voice, further known as the plaintiff or Mr. Astley, and falsely stated that he endorsed with no request for warning or remorse, causing significant and continuing damage to the plaintiff. In doing so, the defendants have literally stolen the plaintiff's voice, causing more immense damage. Great taste. Cheers. Midnight Oil? Yeah. Some of the Midnight Oil stuff was okay. Peter Garrett, you know, after he went into politics, I couldn't really look at him the same way. It's wrong. I can name Savage Garden's biggest hit. Okay, so the footnote, like in the middle, upon information and belief, the defendants did obtain a license to the underlying musical composition of Never Gonna Give You Up. Mr. Astley is not the writer of Never Gonna Give You Up, and neither therefore gave permission to use the underlying musical composition, nor received any compensation for the license granted. Mr. Astley owns in part the sound recording of of Never Gonna Give You Up, and neither he nor his co-owners gave permission for the defendants to use it. More importantly, Mr. Astley never gave permission for them to copy, imitate, or recreate his voice. As such, Mr. Astley brings his complaint and seeks relief from the defendant's unauthorized intentional theft of his voice for commercial purposes. Parties and jurisdictions, we never really care about that. Which is good because I can skip over that. Facts common to all claims. Mr. Astley's storied music career began in the mid-1980s. In 1985, he was a drummer for the soul band FBI. FBI, open up! When the FBI's singer left the band, Mr. Astley became the group's new lead singer, and due to his signature voice, was quickly recruited by record producer Peter Waterman to pursue a career as a solo artist. Over the course of his career, Mr. Astley has released multiple multi-platform albums and had numerous chart-topping songs. Mr. Astley's most well-known song, Never Gonna Give You Up, was released in August 1987 and became a worldwide number hit. To this day, the song remains embedded in a cultural zeitgeist. No shit, you think? Because of this, Mr. Astley has been looking to collaborate with another artist or producer to create something new with his voice from Never Gonna Give You Up that he would be intimately involved in. Oh shit, if there's a chance that he was working on a project and there was more than just like if it was more than just like smoke in the wind or whatever, this will be interesting. For which he would have creative control over in order to protect his brand name, image, and likeness, as well as the artistic integrity of his premier hit record. However, due to the defendant's actions described herein, they've obliterated the opportunity for him to successfully pursue such an endeavor. If they have actually, tortiously interfered with his ability, this is going to get interesting. If there are, loss of earnings and damages. If they can prove that there was a contract, if there was anything in place that was legit, that would legitimately say that he's actually lost out here, it's going to be interesting. Mr. Astley is frequently approached by bands wanting to use his name, image, and likeness in connection for their products and producers, and artists wanting to feature him and their voices in their own songs, or for his voice or image to be used on, for example, a YouTube channel. That's enough of that. Mr. Astley is extremely protective of his name, image, and likeness, and highly selective over who he chooses to endorse and who he affiliates with, as well he should be. In an effort to capitalize off the immense popularity and goodwill of Mr. Astley, the defendants recorded and released the song "Betty Get Money," which interpolates "Never Gonna Give You Up" and conspires to include a deliberate and nearly indistinguishable imitation of Mr. Astley's voice throughout the song. That was a deliberate theft of Mr. Astley's voice because, admittedly, defendants were unable to obtain a license for a sample, a digital copy of the actual sound of his voice, from the sound recording of Never Gonna Give You Up. All the defendants conspired to do so in the recording of Betty, as all were involved in the recording and imitation of his voice, and were publicly open about what they were doing. There is no way that either of the individual defendants or the defendant Republic Records would not know what was being done, and would certainly be aware of the fact that it is illegal to do so in California, given the notoriety of Midler in the music business for the last 30 years. Specifically, Republic Records would have damn well known. Voted for the Grammy since I was 23. It's more of a hassle, but a great tool for networking, so I stay in the academy. The ballot has 250 categories. Shit. Because see, if he was trying to revive his career, it was a great song. Mm-hmm. Indeed, on or around May 18, 2022, Defendant Gravy wrote that he had literally been trying to clear the sample of Never Gonna Give You Up for years. However, he knew the sample was not cleared and Mr. Astley would not have cleared it. Despite knowing that they had no legal basis to deliberately imitate Mr. Astley's distinctive voice or digital copy of his voice from the sound recording of Never Gonna Give You Up, the defendants, as Gravy put it in Billboard, basically remade Never Gonna Give You Up to use like a sample because it makes it easier legally. Nope. You done fucked up. Does Astley own any of the rights to his music? No, I don't think the actual music itself. He still owns copyright. Actually, he's a part copyright owner, so yeah, he does, but not to the instrumental or some shit like that. That's how they were able to get their license to that. And all that I need to cry for help. Don Williams was a great singer, not bad looking too. Songwriting credits? No, I don't believe he wrote the lyrics to it. So that's why he's suing over the use of his voice, because of the imitation. Defendant Nick was tasked with imitating Mr. Astley's signature voice for use in Betty Get Money. In his Los Angeles recording studio, Nick recorded the imitation from the ground up to sound identical to the original recording. In a video posted to Instagram, Nick stated, "I needed someone who sounded like Rick Astley. Truth be told, I auditioned people for 2 weeks before I just decided to do it myself." In the same video, Nick switches between the actual recording of Never Gonna Give You Up and his recreation and asks, "Can you tell the difference?" Well, that's really stupid to have that out there. The public could not tell the difference. The imitation of Mr. Astley's voice was so successful, the public believed it was actually him singing or a direct sample, digital lifting of the audio sounds of his voice from a sound recording of Never Gonna Give You Up. The Wikipedia page for Betty Get Money states the song uses a prominent sample of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Isn't imitation parody? No. Imitation and parody are different. An article published by Billboard states that Betty Get Money samples Never Gonna Give You Up. Gravy's biography on AllMusic.com states that Young Gravy offered up the Rick Astley sampling Betty Get Money, which became his first Hot 100 hit, landing at number 30. Songfacts.com states that Betty Get Money samples Never Gonna Give You Up. Whosampled.com states a sample of Never Gonna Give You Up appears in Betty Get Money. So basically, what they're establishing here is that there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are there more? No, so at least 4 specifically, 4 websites specifically have been bamboozled or have been, have believed that the imitation itself is directly Rick's voice. So, they're showing public damage here to his usage of it. So, there's definitely that. Countless other media outlets and individuals have stated that they believe that it is indeed Mr. Astley's voice on Betty Get Money. That's how good of an imitation. See, that's the difference between parody and imitation. Parodying something, whilst it sounds similar, it is still distinctly different to the original source material. Imitation is you're literally copy and pasting. Ask the Verve how their own recording of Bittersweet Symphony worked out for them. There was arguably much better than the Stones version, but the Stones get paid because they own it. Oh, hang on, I just got something. Oh. Actually, you don't have to keep doing that, but I sincerely appreciate it. It's your birthday today. Why are you paying me? But thank you. I very much appreciate that. It hasn't come through, so I can't read the whole damn message. Why is it? I hate it when it does this. I really do. There it is. Angie, can we talk about that? Specifically the use of his music, because I would love to be able to work some of that into the show, if that's okay with you. But obviously that would require permission from certain people, and there would be some legalities around it. That's why I just mean, can we talk about it? So, but we'll talk. But thank you so much. That was very sweet of you. In an off kind of way, sounds like the lawsuit where Queen or David Bowie sued Vanilla Ice and his record company over sampling their music for Ice Ice Baby 30 years ago. Yeah, very, very similar, actually. As you thought, could just add an extra beat and get away with it. Oh, excellent. Lovely. Not surprising that the public would falsely believe that Gravies fraudulently and publicly stated that he's spoken with Mr. Astley, and Mr. Astley fucks with the song, digs the song, approved of it, and is a fan, all creating further consumer confusion. These statements were all false. Got here late and was thinking that they made an original song imitating Rick's voice. This is way different. To be clear again, as the Bette Midler court found more than 30 years ago, in one of the most famous cases in the music business, a license to use the original underlying musical composition does not authorize the stealing of the artist's voice of the original recording. To use the artist's voice, the creators of a new recording need a license to copy the actual sounds of the voice from the recording, and a so-called sample license of the actual sounds of the voice from the sound recording. As stated, the defendants absolutely knew that this was the case, as Gravy said he had tried and failed for years to obtain a sound recording sample license. So instead, they resorted to the theft of Mr. Astley's voice without a license and without agreement. Better Get Money is a lead single for Gravy's third studio album, Marvelous. Since the release of Better Get Money, Republic Records on June 10, 2022, the song has been certified gold in the United States, Canada, and Australia. Violation of publicity. The plaintiff repeats and re-alleges the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set out herein. By reason of Mr. Astley's lifetime efforts to successfully build worldwide recognition as an artist, which I think we can agree he definitely has worldwide recognition. Need license. Gotta go smoke a cigarette. Fair enough, Tina. He has developed a proprietary interest in his public personality, and in particular his unique and instantly recognizable voice, the most significant attribute of his public identity. Yeah, I can see that. Arguably, that is easily the most important thing there for him. Before the acts of defendants complained herein, Mr. Astley enjoyed his common law right of publicity to exploit his proprietary interest in his voice as he saw fit. The defendant's imitation of his voice is an intentional and deliberate imitation of his internationally recognized and distinctive sound and identity used for the defendants to profit, and appropriates Mr. Astley's property rights in his distinctive voice in violation of his right to publicity. By reason of the defendant's theft of Mr. Astley's right to publicity, each of them have realized, I cannot get my words out today, have realized substantial profits and other benefits which rightfully belong to Mr. Astley. The defendants, knowing that they did not have an agreement to use the actual sounds of Mr. Astley's voice from the sound recording, conspired amongst themselves to intentionally steal his voice by creating a near indistinguishable imitation. Listen to the tune; it's pretty close to a direct rip-off. Not looking Gravy the same. Okay. While such a feat obviously takes an immense amount of talent and skill, it also blatantly spits in the face of Mr. Astley's rights. That's some strong language there. Each of the defendants conspired to do so and are jointly and severally liable for all damages. Okay. Okay, but does Mr. Astley not realise he's an internet joke now with the Rickroll? No one wants to get one. Not the sort of thing you hang your star on. Yeah, but the point is that that's part of what has been developed as his international sort of reputation. Just because something is negative does not mean that it won't affect your popularity. Which, let's face it, is there anybody, say over the age of 12, that doesn't know what a Rickroll is, that wouldn't instantly recognise the words "never gonna give you up"? Because of that, that's sort of what they're pulling it from. I think all singers should use the law firm that Vanilla Ice used. Hilarious, someone thought about the case. He added only one note, and the judge said it made it a different song. While such a feat obviously takes immense talent and skill, it's also... I read that. As a result, he's been damaged to the amount to be determined, but believed to be in the millions of dollars. Defendants should also be required to disgorge all profits derived as they have been unjustly enriched. Ooh, okay. So, basically, what he is saying there is that he himself has suffered millions of dollars in damage, but he's also he's basically saying in the alternate, which he's also saying because he's saying that they should also be, but that would be a separate thing. That's a separate claim. So he's saying there's millions of dollars worth of damages, and I'm claiming that from them, but I'm also claiming any and all profit that they've made from using it. So even if his damages fail, he could potentially still receive the unjust enrichment. Yeah, ouch. That's going to hurt. The idea is that the damage is bullshit. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, if he had anything on foot in terms of using it himself, then there's a potential for damages. Otherwise, there's no crystallization of exactly what the amount would be, and I think he should fail on that. I do. In terms of what they've been unjustly enriched, I think that's the stronger case. The defendants, each of them, have acted with oppression, fraud, and malice in that they've sought to unjustly enrich themselves by intentionally deceiving the public and trampling on Mr. Astley's rights. Yeah, I personally feel like that's a slam dunk at this point. Accordingly, Mr. Astley is entitled to an award of exemplary and punitive damages. Oof, okay. False endorsement, false designation of origin, violation of Title 43(1) of the Lamb Act, 15 USC 1125. Plaintiff repeats and alleges the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set out in here. Claim arises under 43A of the Lanham Act, entitled False Designation of Origin. Defendant's actions constitute false designation of origin and false representation in commerce. Okay, so misleading and deceptive conduct. Yeah. Can halfway see the unjust usage rights, but not the damages. Been heard millions of times. Music video for Better Get Money has been viewed millions of times as of January 23. Music video for the song's been viewed over 32 million times on Gravy's official YouTube channel. Ooh, that's a good point as well. Because all of a sudden you're bringing in YouTube earnings as well. Oh, excuse me, I really should mute. Hang on. Okay, I think that's okay. Alrighty. When a performing artist of Mr. Astley's stature, who enjoys worldwide public recognition of his immediately identifiable and unique voice, appears, is heard, or is closely imitated, his real or apparent presence is inevitably going to be interpreted by the general public as an endorsement of whatever or whoever is utilizing his voice. Defendant's utilization of the deliberate and eerily indistinguishable imitation of his voice on a Better Get Money without his approval violates the section by creating an overwhelming likelihood of the consumer confusion over whether he endorsed or is otherwise associated with the defendants and their song. Yeah, look, I think this is a stronger argument in terms of damages. The defendants did not solicit, nor were the defendants granted permission by Mr. Astley to imitate his voice, but have falsely suggested to the public that Mr. Astley was endorsing the defendants and Betty Get Money. They made no attempt to dispel the deliberate false implication of his endorsement or participation. To the contrary, with no basis in fact, Gravy publicly stated that he's spoken with Mr. Astley, which apparently is a complete lie, and that Mr. Astley fucks with the song, digs the song, and approved it, and is a fan, all creating further confusion. These statements were all false. This is literally, he's deliberately gone out of his way to lie and say that Astley has approved of the song. By reason of the defendant's false representation that Mr. Astley participated, was involved with, and or endorsed the defendants, through their conspiracy outlined above, have created consumer confusion in violation of the Section 43A of the Lanham Act and an intentional disregard of Mr. Astley's rights. The defendants have acted with willfulness, fraud and malice, and Mr. Astley is entitled to an award of treble damages in an amount to be proven at trial, and his reasonable attorney fees in bringing the action. And the lie, if true, is by default fraud, I believe. Yes, particularly because it was done in trade and commerce. So, yeah, they're going to get damages there. Because it's not like it's difficult to track down those statements either. They were in interviews, news articles. I think there's videos of him specifically saying it. So that one's going to hurt. But I think that one specifically is going to be against Gravy himself. Astley's way late to the game. He should have filed this when the song was first used as a meme. Because he didn't, the courts in the US, Astley given up much of his claim to the song. Yeah, but not to his voice. That's just it. We're not actually arguing over the song itself. We're arguing over the use of his voice. You don't want to get sued by Rick Astley. You know he's never going to give that up. So I have to go after everyone that uses your copyrighted music, and you lose copyright under US entertainment law. Interesting. I should have seen whether or not there were any entertainment lawyers that were available, actually. Okay, violation of the Civil Code. Plaintiff repeat and realleges the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set out herein. The defendants on multiple occasions have falsely asserted that Mr. Astley endorses Gravy and Betty. In doing so, the defendants have deliberately, without permission, used his identity for the purposes of promoting the defendant and drawing listeners to Betty Get Money. The illegal appropriation of the defendants of Mr. Astley's property interest in his identity is a violation of the Civil Code. As a result, Mr. Astley has been damaged in an amount to be determined, but believed to be in the millions. The hell was that? Hair of some kind? Okay, so he's claiming millions under different causes of action. This is going to be interesting. Posted a clip of the infringing part on Discord. Okay, cheers. When you sing the Korean version of that, please. May have missed it already. Where are we? Oh, okay, so that's the song there. Okay. So if I download that... See, because the only thing that I don't want to do... Oh no, because if I put it on studio mode, I should be able to change it so we can all hear it at the same time. Properties... Okay, this is annoying because I'm not going to be able to hear it. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to... It's just the vocals? Okay.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run away.
Never let you down, baby.
It's really your gravy.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
Okay. Literally Rick Astley with a voice filter. It's damn close, isn't it, peeps? Yeah, I can see why there's issues with that. Subtle intonation differences. I didn't actually get to listen to all of that because I was stuffing around with the audio things behind. But there's enough people in chat saying that it's him, so there is significant. I mean, all it needs to be is that there's one person in 100 would be fooled into thinking that it's him. Every time Gangster's Paradise starts, I immediately start doing the Amish Paradise version. You would have thought it was him? Yeah. If the song was a flop, would there be a lawsuit? Probably not. Let's face it, probably not. But, close enough that a normal person would think it's Rick with music going. Why do they want to sound like him? Well, see, that's just it. There is only one reason why you would want to actually use that particular lyrics and the sound of the voice, and that's to imitate and to piggyback on the notoriety. So that's really where this is coming from. Don't blame him for suing, but the case is garbage because the new audio is trash. From Apple Music, didn't think it was him, but I'm old and know the original well. Well, there you go. Same thing for Riding Dirty and White and Nerdy. Yep. Just so white and nerdy. Look at me, I'm just so white and nerdy. Okay. And they've been unjustly enriched. Defendants have acted with oppression, fraud, and malice. In doing so, Mr. Astley is entitled to a award of exemplary. Whoa, they're pulling for exemplary damages on this. Okay. Donald Passman is the best entertainment attorney. Regular update to his book. All you need to know about the music business. Think you'd like it. Okay, I'll have a look. Thank you very much for that, Mac. Hang on, where's my book? Where's my book? And nope, that's not a pen. That's a texter. So what is it? All you need to know about the music business. Okay. That means, without using his original voice, tough shit. Okay. It's not really... in my opinion, I think he's got a case here. I think that he'll... There's out of the causes of action, I reckon he'll probably get up on the first... No, lose the first, get up on the second. This one I'm not sure about, honestly, because I have no idea of the case law in relation to the California Civil Code. Did some studio work for Rick back in 2001. Hit some really good shit, but people struggle to take him seriously. Fair enough. And American Dreamer, just to specify, exemplary damages, because I think I skipped over that. Exemplary damages are basically punishment. So it's to specifically try and punish and deter anyone from doing the same thing in the future. I think it would be tough for him to pull that off, honestly. RIP Memology 101, his channel's been hijacked by a bunch of crypto bingers using his channel to steal Bitcoin and at the same time raise money for a Google-endorsed charity. Bet Google hacked him. Shit. That sucks. I knew Nick was trying to get in touch with him, but I didn't know what it was actually about. That sucks. No clue how the Cali Code worked, but here he'd lose the case 100% unless in one select county with board judges. Okay, unfair competition. Oh, okay. Plaintiff repeats and alleges the paragraphs. Defendants have misappropriated valuable property and property rights belonging exclusively to Mr. Astley, causing permanent and significant damage. The defendant's imitation of his unique and instantly recognizable voice is intended to have the public believe that it is Mr. Astley's actual performance on Betty Get Money, invariably creating public confusion. The defendant's conduct constitutes unfair competition as defined by the California Business and Professions Code. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, what's this say? enforcement, as used in this chapter, unfair competition shall mean and include any unlawful, unfair, or fraudulent business act or practice, an unfair, deceptive, untrue, or misleading advertisement, and any act prohibited by Chapter 1, commencing with 17,500 of Part 3 of Division 7 of the Business Professions Code. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty broad. What they've done here, I believe, would fall under that banner. Because the conduct competes directly. Oh, appreciate you. My bad day feels better now. Oh, thank you, American Dreamer, and thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Now, entirely crypto scammers, they bypass two-factor authentication, change all this information, cannot access channel, not restore it. Likely Google employees did it. Long expected that rogue Google employees have been behind the YouTube channels being hacked, and what happened to Memology definitely looks like it. That's shit. Gonna mash the OG vocals to the Young Gravy check for lols. Go for it. Such conduct directly competes with Mr. Astley's right to perform or otherwise participate in or profit from the use of his association with his voice, resulting in significant damages in an amount to be proven at trial. The defendants have also realised substantial profits and other benefits from unfair competition, which rightfully belong to Mr. Astley. Yeah, I think the unjust enrichment argument's better than that. Than pulling for unfair competition. I can see why they've done it in the alternative to try and cover all bases. At the verdict, they'll rickroll us. Well, let's face it. Rick's never gonna give up. That was terrible. He's never gonna give up the case. Never gonna let us down. I shouldn't do stuff on the fly like that. The defendants have acted with oppression, fraud, and malice as set forth above, and in that they have sought to enrich themselves unjustly and at the expense of Mr. Astley. Mr. Astley is therefore entitled to a award of exemplary and punitive damages, as well as his attorney's fees in bringing his own action. Just so you know, this damn song will be stuck in my head. What song? This one? You're very welcome. Fresh and fraud and malice. Enrich themselves. Pulling for exemplary and punitive is interesting. Prayer for relief. The defendants are ordered to account and pay over to Mr. Astley all the gain, profits, and advantages derived or realised from the violation of his rights set forth herein. If he gets up, that's going to happen one way or another. Would be my. You love my rendition. Please, no. I know that my voice cracks, okay? The whole thing about how many tones you can go up and down in a song and all that sort of stuff. I think if my octave changes like 3 or 4 tones, my voice starts cracking anyway. Did you do an American accent? I didn't think I did. I can't deliberately do accents. Sometimes I just fall into them. Oh, hello, I have visitors. Give me a second. Be right back, guys. We have a Mighty McMuffin and some juice. Maccas, if you want to sponsor me, feel free. Oh, I love the orange juice. But I want to... Oh, I'm only halfway through my V. Think we're alone now? I think we're alone now. It doesn't seem to be anyone around. Love that song too. Bitch doesn't like me anymore. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Look, if he gets up, I would fully expect them to be paying out the gains of profits from it, which is going to hurt quite a bit. So they're going to be fighting very fucking hard. The defendants and each of them be ordered to pay Mr. Astley damages in an amount to be proven at trial, but believed to be in the millions of dollars sustained by Mr. Astley in consequence of the defendant's wrongful acts, together with punitive and exemplary damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Okay. These ones, yes. Do I think he'll get the punitive and exemplary damages? If he does, it's not going to be a lot. To be the IRA to get McDonald's to pay you. Oh, that's terrible. That Mr. Astley receive his costs of the suit herein, including reasonable attorney's fees, and the court grant such order or further relief as it may deem fit and proper. Just and proper. But we say fit and proper, but anyway. Dang, I'm going to hear that in my sleep. Thanks for the earworm, Hayden. Which means I'll be talking, singing in my sleep tonight. My 16-year-old's going to be teasing me now. I'd say I'm sorry. But that'd just be another Rickroll. Does it to you on purpose and knows it? Damn straight. That's why you keep coming back. So there's that. So there you go, peeps. And yeah, look, I think I'll probably wind up keeping the Rickroll into the show, but that's pretty much the case. So Rick Astley is basically suing because someone used an imitation of his voice. I personally don't think that he would be entitled to the punitive and exemplary damages. We'll certainly see. It will be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, hang on, this one's state case, isn't it? So, look, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So, alright. Moving on. City sued in death of bystander during a police sued in death of bystander during a police chase. Family of Lumania Sukai is suing the Oakland Police Department, claiming that an unauthorized police chase led to the death of a 27-year-old known as Lolo last summer. The Soakai family, represented by Adante Pointer and Patrick Bluena, held a news conference on Thursday, a day after the civil rights lawsuit was filed in the federal court, to announce that they're seeking to hold Oakland Police Department responsible for the death. Soakai's mother, Lavina, who attended with several family members, cried throughout. "We're filing the lawsuit to seek accountability." The two police officers decided to engage in an illicit, violent police chase. Soakai was celebrating a friend's college graduation, enjoying food with friends and family on June 25th at Taco La Amigos food truck at 54th Avenue and International Boulevard at around 1 a.m. when Arnold Linaldi, 19, crashed into them. Soakai, who was standing next to a car, was crushed by the impact as nearby motorcycles entrapped him amid the wreckage, the lawsuit says. The mother, Lavina, was also hurt in the collision, which left her with back injuries. The complaint alleges that two Oakland police officers were ghost chasing Linaldi, who had been involved in a sideshow. The lawsuit describes a ghost chase as a pursuit in which the officers do not activate their lights and sirens or alert dispatch. It says the department does not permit such pursuits because of the risks to the suspect and to bystanders. The officers, who are not named in the suit, were driving around 60 miles an hour on the city streets, the complaint says, and they did not stop or call for an ambulance after seeing the crash. The department placed the two officers on administrative leave and is currently investigating the incident. Oakland Police Department and the city's attorney's office declined to comment on the lawsuit. "It has brought us a lot of trauma," said the deceased's cousin, who witnessed the crash and was also injured. "It takes a big toll on me, and because everything brings me back to that night," she added. "He's no longer here with us, but he'll stay within our heart." So there's that. Was there anything specifically? Chatter a bunch of dirty fucking lies. No one unironically likes the Rickroll. A very particular set of skills I've acquired over a very long career. If you play that song again, I will find you and I will hurt you. Yes, Impish. But there's a good chance I will enjoy it. So, enjoy. Don't run, no chase, duh. What's that? Tiffany's version of I Think We're Alone Now is superior to the Turtles version. Come at me. No, Mac. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Tiffany's version of I Think We're Alone Now is in my Pump It playlist. And you will just have to bear with me, because this will be... I'm not letting the McMuffin go cold. I'm just not. So this one falls under parody law. Share the list, otherwise Aussie. No, because then I know that people will give me shit. Mind you, it's still better than my Guilty Pleasures list, which has, like, Let It Go from Frozen and various other things on there. So, Mrs. Windsor, I thought she was dead. Nice. Okay. Chick-Fil-A sued for sharing data through Metapixel. While plaintiffs' attorneys were initially focused last year on suing healthcare entities for using Pixel and other tracking technology to share information about website users on social media platforms such as Meta, formerly Facebook, they are now eyeing other industries, including the fast food industry. Oh shit, hang on, is Rabbit in chat? How did I... Oh, fuck, I hope I didn't miss that. Just stopped in a minute. Lots of family here. Funeral Monday. Oh. Rabbit, I want you to know we have all been thinking about you over the last couple of days. And... Thoughts and prayers sounds very disingenuous. But genuinely, I am sending my heartfelt condolences to you and the family. And if there is anything I can do, please let me know. Okay? Not that I think that anything would ever change anything, but yeah. Shit, I'm gonna start tearing up. I gotta be careful here. Never eat cold muffin? Damn not. Of course not. Smoke break? Fair enough. Knew Chick-Fil-A wasn't so high and mighty. This week, a class action complaint was filed... Oh, hang on. You know what? No, I'm going to restart that so I can... If I need to clip this one. Chick-Fil-A sued for sharing data through Metapixel, while plaintiffs' attorneys were initially focused late last year on suing healthcare entities for using Pixel and other tracking technology to share information about website users with social media platforms such as Meta. Put another fucking comma in there somewhere. Like, seriously. They're now eyeing other industries, including fast food. This week, a class action was filed in the Northern District of California against Chick-fil-A for data harvesting and targeting the advertisers without consent. According to the complaint, Chick-fil-A violated a Video Privacy Act of 1988 when it deployed the Facebook tracking pixel to identify a user's video watching behavior. The complaint details how the metapixel is used, which is educational in and of itself. According to the complaint, given the nature of the defendant's business, visitors would be shocked and appalled to know that the defendants were secretly disclosing to Facebook all of their key data regarding a visitor's viewing habits. See, the funny thing is, the pixel for ads, Meta pushes that. I was encouraged to have one of the pixel trackers installed on my website for a law firm. so that I could do targeted advertising towards them. Like that's... Yeah. Sorry, mini mukbang. New state privacy law requirements going into effect in 2023 will prompt more and more businesses to include pop-ups on websites asking customers whether they want to allow cookies or other tracking technology to be used while they're on the site. Before clicking accept, research a bit how cookies and pixels and other tracking technologies are used and make an educated choice of whether to consent to the use of the trackers or set your own preferences. If you click agree, you shouldn't complain about the how detailed the tracking is or how shocking or appalling it is. ASMR. Are people really shocked by this? Some people really were. Some people really were shocked by it. How long's the class action suit? Okay, so it's 16 pages. I just want to have a quick look. I'm not going to read through all of it. Parties. Facebook social networking site. We know about this. Generates revenue by selling ad space. We know about this. Defendants are a videotape service provider under the VPPA. Defendants are engaged in the business of rental or sale or delivery of pre-recorded cassettes. What? I thought this was against Chick-Fil-A. It is. What the Okay. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because this whole time I thought Chick-Fil-A was a, restaurant. Is it a completely different business? Do I need to actually look this up? Hey, Doc, how you doing? So is the complaint about Chick-fil-A's website or on-site viewing at restaurants? The website. Typeface is giving you a headache? It's giving me a headache. It's really bad. They shouldn't have... Fast food chicken shop. That's what I thought. So how is this a video providing website? It's great food, is it? Okay. Facebook tracking, video type service provider. Specifically, defendant's business model involves monetizing videos. Okay. That makes sense. Website hosts and delivers content including videos. The defendant discloses personal information. So, okay, interesting. So what they're saying is that by being... Technically, I would fall under that. It's at best above average chicken sandwich. Makes you go worse than Taco Bell. Damn, that's a high bar. That's a fucking broad... That's a broad definition. That's... Okay, interesting. Button automatically detected... Interesting. You know, I'll read that one in my own time. Used to get the very first Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, where I grew up. They didn't get the publicity for all the kids they put through college. If you work with them in high school, they pay for your college. Really? Did they pull up an old suit against Blockbuster? No, what they're doing is basically... What they're saying is that by being someone that promotes a monetized video, you're effectively being called a video rental or, monetization... company, which is... That's a very fucking broad definition. But anyway, as I said, I shall read through that on my own time, rather than bore the hell out of you guys. Okay, this one is a little bit interesting. Manipulative TikTok and Insta influencers face $500,000 fines. Celebrity Kim Kardashian was slapped with a $2 million fine for promoting crypto, and now Aussie influencers are being targeted for dishonest posts. Social media influencers from TikTok to Instagram are being targeted for dishonest posts in a crackdown by the nation's consumer watchdog after it was inundated with tip-offs from the public. Is your law firm now a video company? No, but my own private business may be. Yeah, exactly. Because they have adverts that they monetize. The ACCC has started investigating more than 100 influencers after its Facebook post attracted more than 150 tip-offs about potentially dodgy practices from influencers. It comes after celebrity influencer Kim Kardashian was slapped with a $1.26 million US fine in the US for failing to disclose that she was paid $250,000 for promoting a cryptocurrency. She agreed not to promote cryptocurrency for the next 3 years after she was caught out. The US SEC announced last year that it had charged the reality TV star and social media influencer for touting a social media come on, get it together. For touting on social media a crypto asset security without disclosing the payment that she received for the promotion. Now the Australian watchdog has launched its own blitz on influencers, particularly in beauty and lifestyle, as well as parenting and fashion, for failing to disclose their affiliation with the product or company they are promoting. The number of tip-offs reflects the community concern about the ever-increasing number of manipulative marketing techniques on social media designed to exploit or pressure consumers into purchasing goods or services. I should take this moment to advise that, on occasion, this channel is sponsored by Glazed Illegal. We do not provide any sort of legal advice, and you should always consult your own legal professional as your circumstances may vary. Oh shit. Swing a little harder. Lovely. Already we're hearing some law firms and industry bodies have informed their clients about the ACCC's sweep and reminded them of their advertising disclosure requirements. Hello, Jude. Influencers who breach Australian consumer law can face fines of up to $500,000. The ACCC sweep is being run over the coming weeks to identify deceptive marketing practices across the digital economy, and will include Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook, and live streaming service Twitch. Oh, because YouTube's mostly... Yeah, okay, gotcha. It is targeting the sectors where influencer marketing is particularly widespread, including fashion, beauty cosmetics, food and beverage, travel, health, fitness and well-being, parenting, gaming, and technology. So as long as I don't do any gaming streams, I should be fine. The ACCC is also considering the role of other parties, such as advertisers, marketers, brands, and social media platforms, in facilitating misconduct. With more Australians choosing to shop online, consumers often rely on reviews and testimonials when making purchases, but leading endorsements can be very harmful. If they went after dimfluencers paid by political parties in secret, holy... It is important social media influencers are clear in any commercial motivations behind their posts. This includes these posts that are incentivized and presented as impartial, but are not. The ACCC will not hesitate to take action where we see consumers are at risk of being misled or deceived by a testimonial, and there is potential for significant harm. Many consumers are aware that influencers receive a financial benefit for promoting products and services, but the ACCC remains concerned that influencers, advertisers, and brands try to hide the fact from consumers. Of course they do. Okay, let's take an example, okay? And this is just it. This is just one that's, straightforward and simple. We all know that Nick and now even Andrew are doing the ones for the vegetables in a jar. If they didn't specify that those items were paid promotions, they would still have viewers that would go out and try them. Now, if they hid that, that would be wrong, obviously. So, oh god, it's so basic that it's actually hurting my fucking brain. Be careful about the Baldo reviews. No, the Baldo reviews will be fine because that's something that we have bought and we're trying out for ourselves, as opposed to something we're paid to do. It's basically, you've got to be careful with paid promotions, basically. Influenza, coincidence? I think not. Okay, this can particularly apply to micro-influencers with smaller followings as they build and maintain a more seemingly authentic relationship with followers to add legitimacy to hidden advertising posts, according to the ACCC. It will be monitoring a mix of small and large influencers in the sweeps. Hello, ACCC! How you doing? This is in no way a paid promotion, but I do appreciate Mr. Steve Gosney. Oops. Do highly recommend the book. Side question: how bad do you struggle was swatting back to PS5 and Switch after a long play on one or the other? I don't. Well, for starters, I have a PS4, but I don't really have any sort of an issue. I mean, muscle memory for me is pretty straightforward, so. Big problem with people doing undisclosed paid reviews of vaping products a while ago. Ugh. Yeah, okay, I can see how that's an issue. If you're being paid to say it, make sure you say you're being paid. Exactly. And if advertisers want you to hide that fact, don't work with those advertisers. It's as simple as that. Okay. Two teenagers face ACT's children's court after police recover allegedly stolen Camry in Canberra. Nope, we're not going to be reading that one. See, this is why I need to be checking these. Shit. That's fine, because we'll move on to this one. Queensland police charged 12-year-old girl after 3 stolen cars in Mount Isa. You're going to make her refresh the page so I can watch the video, aren't you? Come on.
But as Senator Jacinta Price warned last year, quote, "Mark my words, with federal..."
I get sick and tired of news.com.au. Oh no, this is Sky U News. My sincere apologies. This video has nothing to do with the news story. 12-year-old girl has been charged in relation to 3 stolen cars in Western Queensland. Queensland police confirmed the 3 cars, a Kia Sportage and 2 white Toyota Prados, were stolen from a business at Mount Isa shortly after midnight. The young girl is one of 2 12-year-olds caught by police in the Kia in the early hours of the morning. Police said the business on Camberwell Street was broken into by several youths on Friday night, and the 3 cars were broken into and driven away. Through the night, police monitored the location of the cars as they were being driven around the mining town. A tyre deflation device was deployed at 4:15 a.m. on Kingfisher Road, and it successfully punctured the tyres and brought one of the Prados to a halt. The youths in the car were quickly picked up by the second Prado, and then marauding continued. What the fuck is with your country, Aussie? We send you GTA and your kids go crazy. Oh, our kids go crazy? I have memory of muscles. I don't have muscles anymore, but the memories are nice. Crime up there's a bit out of control. Yeah. Hours later, at 7:50 a.m., police patrolling the area found the Kia on Kookaburra Street. 2 12-year-old girls were found inside the vehicle and taken into custody. A 12-year-old Kelso girl has been charged with 1 count of entering the premises to commit an indictable offence, unlawful uses of a motor vehicle, and driving a motor vehicle without a licence. She was denied police bail and is due to appear at Mount Isa Children's Court. The second girl was taken home, and investigations from Mount Isa Child Protection and Investigation Unit are ongoing. Yeah, 12. Yep. Did you see the rub for whatever my smoke, punk? So what? I'm sorry, what was it you saw? I got no idea. I have no idea what on earth you would have possibly seen that would make you cranky with me. I mean, I have no idea. So, Second Prado. The second Prado remains outstanding. Oh, outstanding. That's it. That's an interesting way of putting it. It's outstanding in the. Apparently that Prado is just outstanding in a field somewhere. So. Need the dance? Nope. Just nope. You were there in 2015. Wasn't bad. Bear in mind you used to Chicago. All big and bad hiding behind your computer. Wait till I hit the sand in Oz. We'll see how tough you are. Anyone with information about the 3 stolen cars or the individuals involved has been called on to get in contact with police. The incident comes as Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk considers introducing tough new legislation that would see the maximum penalty for youths caught stealing cars increase from 7 years to 10 and 14 if it was done at night. Steal a car or stay home. Steal a real car or stay home. Okay, this one's a little bit weird. David Gregory Murphy self-confessed Messiah's fitness for trial assessment in court. A self-proclaimed Messiah, who allegedly falsely claimed he would wipe out debts for as little as 15%, what was owed based on religious teachings, has faced a court in a bizarre scene. David Gregory Murphy, 69, has been charged with 3 counts of false or misleading information affecting market participation and 4 counts of dishonest conduct relating to financial services. He has not yet formally pled to the charges, but faced a hearing in the New South Wales District Court on Friday where his fitness for trial was assessed. Stick shifts modern day anti-theft. Yeah. Mr. Murphy, who goes by Dr. Murphy or Professor Murphy, has previously told several media outlets that he is a modern-day messiah. I'm moving that up. His bizarre alleged conduct first came to light in October 2020 when the federal court ordered him to stop claiming on shopper dockets. What? To stop claiming on shopper dockets and social media that he can extinguish debts in exchange for an upfront fee. Give me $200 and I'll make sure your $600,000 mortgage disappears. Didn't make it better. At the time, he told the Daily Telegraph his debt extinguishing system was based on the Bible's Old Testament, condemning interest as a sin, and confirmed he believed he was the Messiah. I wonder if he's been to Jerusalem recently. At the time, he told the Daily Telegraph on October 9, 2020, the federal court restrained Mr. Murphy and his company Debts Knockout from carrying on or promoting the program Debt Wipeout, and take down the websites debtwipeout.org and debtsknockout.com. Now I'm curious. I want to see if those still exist. Okay, so that one's down. Oh, excuse me. This is why I shouldn't eat on stream, unfortunately, because the... Okay. Definitely not a flattering photo. Yeah. Damn, Stingy, and you guys give me shit about my internet. Download 50 gigs. Far out. He extinguished the debt by offing you? More than 2 years later, the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, our version of the SEC, referred the matter to the Commonwealth Department of Public Prosecutions, which is prosecuting criminal charges at Downing Centre District Court. Hope he doesn't get nailed at court. That's bad, Darren. ASIC alleges consumers made upfront payments and their debts were not extinguished. On Friday, the court heard from 2 doctors who have treated Mr. Murphy for schizophrenia in recent years. Psychiatrist Dr. Joanne Ferguson told the court she saw Mr. Murphy 10 times from 2020 into early 22. She told the court Mr. Murphy appeared relatively stable until he went off medication and appeared to have significant difficulty understanding the charges against him, with his significant thought disorder impacting his capacity to make informed decisions. Dr. Ferguson told the court that she wouldn't be able to say if he could stand trial in 12 months if put back on medication. The second psychiatrist, Dr. Kerry Eagle, said she doubted that he would improve in time, even if he tried different medications. She told the court Dr. Murphy deteriorated in 22 and became preoccupied with paranoid schemes, conspiracy theories involving various parties, and tangents. I do acknowledge it is unlikely Mr. Murphy would improve to the extent where he would have fitness to be of trial restored within 12 months, she told the court. In bizarre court scenes, the self-represented Mr. Murphy took the stand and alleged someone else wrote some of his psychological reports, which she refuted. He got up on the stand and said that the psychiatrist's reports weren't written by the psychiatrist. He also asked Dr. Ferguson how she defines mental illness, and says he has his own ideas on how it should be done. He is literally arguing He's arguing for himself to go to trial. I don't think he actually realises this. By arguing against the psychiatrist's reports, he's saying that he is fit to stand trial. Moron. The hearing was part heard and will return to court on February 22. Yeah, no, I've already got it. Did you read the description of the video? Uncomfortable pause. Okay. 29-year-old posed as a teen to enroll in a high school. We should got video on this one.
I feel like that's very concerning, that us parents have to be the last ones to know about what's going on when we should obviously be the first ones.
We don't know why the woman wanted to go to school, but she did. For 4 days, she went to class with actual teenagers at New Brunswick High School, like sophomore Rihanna Colon.
And to know that a person with that intention was that close to me is even scary.
The 16-year-old joined one of 2 protests on campus today to demand some answers and to demand better security at school, claiming there have been other issues like fights that cause concern for her safety.
I want to see the school make a change. They simply just ignore everything, sweep it under the rug for their reputation.
She was here for 4 days before being found out and barred from entering the district property.
The superintendent making a short announcement at the Board of Ed meeting last night, calling the incident bothersome and promising to take a closer look at New Brunswick's enrollment process, but says this is now a police matter.
All appropriate authorities were immediately notified, and the individual in question has now been arrested for providing false documentation.
Many parents, including Rihanna's mom, Yaritza Arroyo, want to know exactly how a 29-year-old woman was able to enroll so easily and why she wanted to be there.
Our children are in these schools and we send them there hoping and praying that they're safe, and they're obviously not.
Okay, so out of this, I learnt something very interesting that I didn't realise. So in the US, if an unaccompanied minor shows up to a school, the school has to immediately enroll them, and that's how she got away with this. She provided fake documents and said, "Hi, I'm an unaccompanied minor," and because then they've got 30 days to provide documents. That is wild to me. You kick her ass. She's a fed. A 29-year-old woman used false documents to enroll in as a US high school student and attended some classes over a 4-day period before her scheme was discovered last week. It is not yet known what the woman's intentions were, officials said. She reportedly got the phone numbers of students who helped her find a way through New Brunswick High School in New Jersey and continued to text some of them days after her ruse was found. Not true. The school has to facilitate for them, not enroll them. Well, we have a bunch of adult men enrolled in border cities. New Jersey, of course. The woman's been barred from entering school grounds in the district, and officials advised students not to have any contact with her. The woman provided district officials with a false birth certificate, officials said. Schools in the states are required to immediately enroll unaccompanied children, even in absence of records normally required for that purpose. Proof of guardianship is also not needed to immediately enroll an unaccompanied minor. Once enrolled, students have 30 days to provide additional proof of identity. The woman was charged Tuesday with providing a false document. It wasn't clear what sentence she might face if convicted. New Brunswick school officials say that they will review the district's enrollment process to avoid similar incidents in the future. The district has nearly 10,000 students. That was like it's just weird. Predatorville. Stuff is not true. Shit like this is what schools use to abuse tax law. Okay. She's 30 years old. Yeah, 29, 30. Most school districts in the US will ask for birth certificate, parent ID, vaccination records. Falsifying a birth certificate is hard unless you don't require original copies with emboss. Yeah, something's definitely wrong with her head. Yeah. She just wanted some young meat. That doesn't make it okay, Dwayne. Excuse me. Young boy fetish. Damn, I graduated too early. Well, we haven't actually seen a photo. Oh, shit, I just realized what's on the screen. We haven't actually seen a photo of her, so we don't know whether or not it would even pass the, Send you to the back of the computer room. No, don't send him to the back of the computer room. Hello, Disney Lord. We'll be listening in the backyard, getting ready for dinner. No, fair enough. Sounds like a great way to die by somebody's dad. Okay. Here we go. We're moving on to it. We happy? Shit, where's my button? Great white shark decapitates diver in first fatal attack of 2023. A 5.7 metre great white shark decapitated a diver early this month, reportedly marking the first fatal shark attack of the year.
Is recommending charges against this man caught on camera hitting a shark with a hammer. However,
I don't need to see that. We don't need animal brutality when it's unrelated to the story. Maybe she identified as 16 years old. Oh, that reminds me. I saw a TikTok last night. I plan on putting that up at some stage. But, it was the argument of identifying with a name versus your gender and all sorts of things, and it was actually really, it was really well done. You want to see the guy hit the shark? Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, hang on.
right now, no charges are filed. The incident happened back in December. FWC says harming a prohibited species is against the law. The Brevard County State Attorney's Office says it will review the case before making a decision.
There you go. 5.7 meter great white shark decapitated a diver earlier this month as he harvested shellfish off the coast of Mexico, reportedly marking the first fatal shark attack of the year. The horrific tragedy occurred on January 5 when Manuel Lopez, 53, was gathering axe tripe, a type of mollusk, off Benito Juarez in Sonora, on the west coast of Mexico, according to Tracking Sharks. According to the New York Post, he said to have been diving from the town of Paredon, Colorado, to the ocean floor without an oxygen tank to nab the critters, which typically reside at meters of 10 to 18 meters. Baby shark, do 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 do. What the fuck? You club baby seals and penguins, but not sharks. The same guy that got Pelosi. Mr. Lopez's shellfishing expedition was cut short when the shark bit his head clean off, according to Tracking Sharks. He was diving when the animal attacked him, impressively ripping his head and biting both shoulders. I heard the shark spit him out. He was too greasy. Oh, Dwayne.
That is a definite yikes.
The attack follows an increase in local shark sightings that have area fishermen on a high alert. Well, clearly not high enough. Local divers have been warned about the presence of sharks in the area, and most had not been out for several days. However, Mr. Lopez, who was reportedly in need of money, saw an opportunity to make a killing due to the shellfish shortage. He allegedly decided to ignore the warnings and embark on what would be his final fishing trip. It's unclear what prompted the apex predator to attack, but the shark could have been attracted to the turbulence and sounds generated by Mr. Lopez while harvesting the mollusks. Humans are often mistaken for seals while wearing wetsuits, which can prompt sharks to take an experimental bite. And while the creatures generally move on after realising the victim isn't their preferred prey, the exploratory nibble can prove catastrophic due to the shark's rows of serrated, meat-shearing teeth. Divers are more likely to be mistaken for seals come December and January, when great white sharks are more prevalent in the Gulf of California. Pregnant sharks are said to be searching for fat-filled lions during the time. Sea lions. Impressively ripping his head off, simping for the shark, apparently. One way of getting some head. If you had an air tank, you could have shoved it in the mouth and shoot it from a safe distance. Great white was 18 feet long. It's a big animal. You're not wrong. It's unusual for sharks to go after scuba divers because the metal confuses them. Free divers are better looking targets while on the surface. A dine and dash. Thought it was a Navy SEAL. Yeah, we got some shark emojis. So yeah, there was that. Now, I saw this one opinion piece about Philip Noyce. Look, I don't usually like giving Andrew Bolt any sort of air or breathing, but I'm concerned about exactly some of the stuff that came out of this. So, Philip Noyce smearing the country with an untrue story, according to Andrew Bolt. Sky News host Andrew Bolt says film director Philip Noyce was appointed Officer of the Order of Australia for smearing the country with an untrue story of the Stolen Generations. For anyone that doesn't know, the Stolen Generation is a generation of Indigenous Australians who had their children taken away. Well, they were the children that were taken away, basically to... I'm not 100% sure whether or not it was to educate them or if it was to... Actually, you know what? Hang on, let me double check this. I should probably get this right. Stolen Generation refers to a period in Australia's history where Aboriginal children were removed from their families through government policies. Happened from the mid-1800s right through to the 1970s. Forcible removal of First Nations children from their families was based on assimilation policies which claimed that the lives of the First Nations people would be improved if they became part of white society. Okay, alright, so... the film, which was shown to millions of Australians, shows children... What? The film was shown to millions of Australian school children and was in fact completely untrue. Almost completely untrue, Bolt said. It shows racist white police violently stealing a happy and healthy Aboriginal girl because the chief protector of the Aborigines in West Australia wanted to breed out Aborigines. Molly had not been stolen. A policeman asked her Aboriginal stepfather if he could take her, and the man nodded yes. The chief protector had been warned by a local woman that the girl was running around wild and was at risk of sexual abuse from white men. Okay. Let's see what Bolt has to say for himself.
Turns out you can actually get a medal these days for smearing this country, including in a film shown to millions of children, which I'll show you in a sec. Of course, every year, it's the same thing. Australian of the Year awards, Australia Day honours. They're manipulated to push the divisive politics of the left. And last night, same story, Senior Australian of the Year award went to Tom Calma, co-architect of Labor's plan for an Aboriginal-only voice to Parliament in the Constitution. He used the award ceremony to abuse Australians like me who think this plan is dangerous.
I want to particularly address senior Australians because you are the demographic being targeted with misinformation by pundits who are either ill-informed or who have malicious intent regarding the voice.
But there are also rewards for people who have pushed the so-called stolen generation story, this damaging and false claim that racist officials stole tens of thousands of children just because they were Aborigines. Robert Mann, the top academic propagandist of this story, he got a top award. And unusually, singer Archie Roach was
I should point out that I'm acutely aware of what the claims were in relation to the stolen generation simply because it was what I was told. It's what I was taught in school. So I personally haven't seen any of the records or anything like that, but I mean, it's
posthumously given our highest honour, Companion of the Order of Australia. Yes, Archie Roach was a good singer, but he was a hero of the left more particularly for saying he was a stolen child and for singing Took the Children Away. But here's the thing, Roach himself once conceded he might not have been stolen just because he's Aboriginal. Maybe could it have been that he was neglected. He said, Mum and Dad weren't at home at the time. One of the sisters was looking after us. That was common. I know people saw that as neglect. I don't really know. Word got around, certain families, this and that. I'm not sure what the story was. And what's more, an Aboriginal-led task force appointed by the then Labor Victorian government admitted that in Victoria there'd in fact been no formal policy for removing children for being Aboriginal. But the Australia Day award that really offended me went to Philip Noyce, director of the film Rabbit Proof Fence, which claimed at the very start to be a true story of the stolen generations. Now, this film was shown to millions of Australian school children. It was in fact almost completely untrue. It shows racist white police violently stealing a happy and healthy Aboriginal girl.
I should point out as well, Rabbit Proof Fence was shown to a bunch of 14-year-olds in school. That was part of it, is that we had to sit and watch that movie.
Because the Chief Protector of Aborigines in West Australia wanted to breed out Aborigines.
Hundreds of half-caste children have been gathered up and brought here. Are we to allow the creation of an unwanted race? White blood finally stamps out the black colour.
And then the film shows these heroic children, led by Molly Craig, escaping from the ghastly home they were sent to and finally making it back to their loving families. Except so much of that was poisonously false. When the film was first screened, Molly Craig, and I'll show you, that's her on the left, she sang out, "That's not my story." And it wasn't. Molly had not been stolen. A policeman asked her Aboriginal stepfather if he could take her, and the man nodded yes.
Holy racism, quick, someone play the didgeridoo. Look, and I should also specify, guys, okay, because someone said that I've been watching way too much Sky News. I need to specify here. I've not been able to stand Andrew Bolt for a significant period of time since I was very, very young. Sounds like your version of Roots. Oz is not unique in this controversy. The US has taken Native American children and rehomed them for years. Same situation, neglect, drugs, etc. Those who control the past control the future. Nothing wrong with diversifying your media sources. Well, look, I generally try and balance things. So I generally try and go... If I look at a particular topic, I try and look at it from a left-leaning news source. I try and look at it from a right-leaning news source, because the truth is almost always invariably somewhere in the middle. If I crashed in the AU wild, love to be found by the Aborigines, but if I needed cancer treatment, they're not the group I'd go to. I need to stop this divisiveness and race superiority ideals. Damn straight. Not to know your general statement. No, I get that. What? Your lies about me will make the channel holder pay to? Okay. Maybe some truth to it, but it's just more racist propaganda. Quite possibly. Knew it was fake, read about this? Okay. America's case, young people taking... The people taking the kids were given kickbacks. It's really fucked up. Sky Australia is remarkably based. Look, a lot of the time they get it wrong. A lot of the time, no news outlet is invariably accurate 100% of the time. And personally, like I said, I can't stand Bolt. Haven't been able to since he said some remarkably horrible things about a decade and a half ago. But compare Sky Australia versus the UK. Well, yeah. US's lengthy documentation about removing Indigenous kids from their families starting way back in the 1600s in Henrico, Virginia. All right.
She wasn't thrown into a police car. She was put on a horse and rode out slowly. And she sure wasn't taken away from a happy, healthy home, because Molly's daughter later wrote in a book that her mum had often had to play alone in this rough bush camp because the other children told her she was like a mongrel dog, being neither fully Aboriginal nor white. Nor was she taken to breed out Aborigines. She was just 14, and the Chief Protector had been warned by a local woman the girl was running wild and was at risk of sexual abuse from white men. And the Chief Protector also said that Molly and the cousins that went with her wasn't getting a fair go from the so-called full-bloods at this camp she was living in. They didn't accept half-castes. Sorry about the terminology, that was it. One of the cousins, who was also rescued, was only 8 years old and already being claimed as the wife of one of the men there. And I have to ask you, would you really have left little girls in that danger? Seriously? Are we now going to say that saving them is an act of genocide? Apparently so. And we give an Australia Day award to a film director who's done more than almost anyone to persuade generations of Australians that trying to save some young Aboriginal children is a crime that shames Australia. No wonder race relations in this country have become so insane. And no wonder so many Aboriginal children today, like we're seeing in Alice Springs, are now not saved from dangers we would never tolerate if they were white.
No, look, and not specifically if they were white as well. I mean, pretty much anyone from any demographic that's considered an Australian citizen that aren't part of this issue, for the most part, they wouldn't hesitate to step in. So, how does an Aboriginal child have an English name, Molly? Well, as he just said, she was... I don't want to use the term because I know that it's considered racist. She had differing parentage, so she was not considered a full-blooded Aboriginal, and she was more than likely named with a Christian name. So. Alright, moving on. Twitter sued over anti-Semitic posts left online. Twitter is being sued in Germany by two groups claiming the social media network failed to remove 6 posts attacking Jewish people and denying the Holocaust after they were reported. The posts were published after billionaire Elon Musk bought the platform in October 22, but his tweets, which now represent most of the company's communications output, have not mentioned the case. Excuse me. Anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial are illegal in Germany. They also violate Twitter's own terms and conditions. The BBC News has contacted the company for comment. Twitter has betrayed our trust, said Vatil Grinberg, the president of the European Union of Jewish Students, which has brought this civil action alongside Hate Aid. By allowing hateful content to spread, the company fails to protect its users, and Jews in particular. The case will try to determine whether Twitter is contractually obligated to remove such material. Hate Aid legal head Josephina Ballon said Twitter assures it won't tolerate violence on its platform. Users have been able to rely on that. Well... Yeah, look, we'll discuss that in a minute. I can't... After everything that happened with that over the last few days, I can't show video or anything, but we can certainly discuss it. Twitter refuses to remove porn, but does that mean that I can sue Twitter for violating my eyeballs? I'm not going to read that one out loud then, if they've already done that. In 2021, before Musk took over Twitter, the campaign against anti-Semitism with which it partnered said the company's policies were failing and it had only removed 400 of 1,000 tweets containing hateful content attacking Jews. The previous year, Twitter had was criticised as too slow to remove tweets by UK musician Wiley that he later apologised for, saying that they were looked at as anti-Semitic. Boris Johnson, then Prime Minister, said social media networks needed to go further and faster to remove contents like this. Other big social media networks, including Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, have faced similar accusations. Under the UK Online Safety Bill, technology companies would face large fines for failing to swiftly remove hateful content. Culture Secretary Michelle Donnellan, hopes the bill will be passed into law later this summer. Twitter does love some controversy. Grift is so thirsty for racism. Well, I mean, as they used to say, controversy sells newspapers. Not that it's the same thing anymore, but anyway, let's move on to something a little less controversial, shall we? Unless you're going to be racist against snakes. Snake bite claims the life of a South East Queensland man. A man has died after he was bitten by a snake in the Lockyer Valley, about 50 kilometres west of Brisbane. A Queensland Ambulance Service spokesperson said they received a call at 9:53am as a man aged in his 60s was dead by the time of the paramedics arrived. While the snake species has not been concerned and would not be until a toxicology report is completed, the caller indicated it was an eastern brown. There was no sign of the snake when they arrived at the Kingston Grove address. Apparently the bite happened sometime before whether we were actually called, the spokeswoman said. She said the snake was not present while the paramedics were on the scene. Lockyer Valley Mayor Tanya Milligan said it was tragic for any family to lose someone, particularly at the beginning of the new year. Milligan said that death highlighted the increasing danger that, as South East Queensland's population grew, communities would continue to encroach upon snake habitat. That meant there would be potential for more interaction between the residents and the deadly reptiles. I live in Laidley Town and both my neighbour on either side of me have lost dogs to snake bites over the last few years, she said. Just around Christmas, two of my neighbours contacted me to say, just to be aware, we've seen a brown snake. So I think gone are the days where you just see them out in the paddock, they're definitely moving. I'm racist against snakes, sort of. Only the white ones. Green, red, black and multi are all fine. You racist. Elon the head twat is busy dealing with his blue balls. That was clever, Boots. I'll give you a for that one. They won't ban the dog humping chick, but lock out people for posting clips of Eliza. There is that. Danger, Noogle. No step on Snick. There's a Snick in my boot. There's a video of a nope rope jumping off a roof of a house. There is a specific nope rope that will slither all the way up to the top of a tree, jump out of the tree, and glide down to attack things. Or to move from tree to tree. While we all cringe with the heat, the Browns love it. They do have babies out that are hatching at the moment, so it's really about us trying to be vigilant when we are outside. If we are lifting stuff where they might be hiding, even behind our plants and what have you, just really be careful. And if you see one, we need to try and avoid them and call someone, don't try to kill them. One of those people to call is a local snake catcher, Chris Jennings, who said the eastern brown was the region's most deadly snake by some margin. We actually have the highest population of eastern browns compared to, say, Brisbane or the Gold Coast, he said. They're naturally more venomous, the eastern brown, but it's not like we've got a plague of them, they're just more well known. Brizzy is meh. Well, no one can sue Hayden for promoting Australia for profit. He's scaring me from visiting that hemisphere. Yes, because I want to keep this lovely land all to myself. The lovely land, the hot chicks, the great food. Keeping it all for myself. Why Australia isn't real, nobody in the right mind would live there. Humidity kills you? I can understand that. Anytime you break ground and you're putting in a new housing, snakes get disrupted because that's their environment that changes. They then start moving, and unfortunately people will generally come in contact with them. It's not that there's an influx, it's that you're going to see them. Queensland Police Service spokesperson said the report would be prepared by the coroner. Cousin has his boa constrictor over to my mum's house, and the monkey almost killed herself trying to get out of the cage and away from the snake. Mum sent the snake home. Should bloody well hope so. Shotguns work extremely well for snakes. Drywall can be repaired. Friend was installing solar panels in Bris Vegas. Got a week with him. Had fun, but I guess it could be any place else. Okay. Alright, so covered that. Okay, Adani Group considering legal action over fraud allegations as shares plunge 20%. So here we go. This is not dissimilar to what's going on with Twitter as well. Hello, Simple Pleasures. How are you? Shares in India's Adani Group have plunged up to 20% as the company considers legal action over allegations of the stock market manipulation and accounting fraud. The accusations by US-based short-selling firm Hindenburg Research, there's a name, led investors to dump Adani stocks. The heavy selling of Adani-linked shares, which wiped out billions of dollars worth of market share value for India's second-largest conglomerate, caused trading in some Adani companies to be suspended or temporarily halted on Friday local time. The Adani Group's Australian arm, Bravus Mining and Resources, has faced heavy opposition and controversy over its construction of the Carmichael mine in central Queensland. So far, the impact of the accusations has been mainly to Adani Group companies, though India's Sensex index fell 1.5% on Friday, and its Nifty index shed 1.6%, but analysts say that there could be wider repercussions if the selling persisted. Gautam Adani and his family have built a vast fortune mining coal and fuel energy-hungry India's fast-growing economy. Businesses in the conglomerate spanning industries including construction, data transmission, media, renewable energy, defence manufacturing, and agriculture. Indians committing fraud? I am shocked, completely shocked. Well, that's just it. They're not the ones committing fraud. They're saying that the... Oh, hang on. Are they saying fraud? I don't know. I need to finish reading this. Listening on low but working. Glad I'm done. Yay. Hey, Nissa. I'm glad you're done for the day then. Damn. Isn't it like... Oh, I suppose it depends where you are. It's either 4:30, 6:30 or 7:30, I assume. Short selling problems? Probably. Hindenburg going down, who knew that could happen? In recent years, Mr. Adani's net worth shot up nearly 2,000% to as much as $125 billion US, according to Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. He's surpassed Amazon boss Jeff Bezos to briefly become the world's second richest man in September after a surge in the value of his 7 listed entities. After this week's losses, Bloomberg's index ranked him as the fourth richest in the world, with a fortune of just $113 billion. So we lost $12 billion. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the humanity. What was that dude to run the fuck away? Did Hayden get a haircut? He's looking sharp? No, Hayden desperately needs a haircut. He's thinking about getting that this afternoon. Just $113 billion. Yeah, I know, right? Adani shares were trading at crazy evaluations, said Shashank Agrawal, an investment advisor representing Adwise Capital. Definitely the report has triggered a correction. Investors began Investors began unloading shares after Hindenburg Research issued a report that said it was betting against shares in the company in the Adani empire. Hindenburg said it judged the 7 key Adani-listed companies as having an 85% downside purely on a fundamental basis owing to sky-high valuations. Brian Freitas, a New Zealand-based analyst with Periscope Analytics, who has researched the Adani Group, said that for now he did not see a risk of wider financial contagion, other than a change in sentiment where investors start questioning the accounts of each and every company. However, so they're basically saying that the report is full of shit. However, if Adani's leaders demanded more collateral and shares used for borrowing have been sold to cover those demands, that would push the prices still lower. Well, there you go. Sam Bankman-Fried can help them out. Alright, I'll do a little bit of nerdy news here. Just because this is something for me, Phil Spencer says Halo Studio remains critical to Xbox despite cuts. Things have not been going great for Xbox recently. Microsoft is still facing stiff resistance in its attempt to acquire Activision Blizzard. It released hardly any new exclusive blockbusters last year, and it just cut over 10,000 jobs last week, including many senior developers at Halo Infinite Studio 343 Industries. Fuck you, you bring them back, I want my game finished. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer tried to remain upbeat and do damage control on each of these points, and more with an interview with IGN. You and the chat are so good for my soul. I appreciate you all. Sincerely hope you all have a wonderful day and night. Adios. Have a good night. Microsoft ruining things again. Look, I'm not going to lie. Halo Infinite had a bit to go anyway. But I don't think laying off 10,000 jobs... Yeah, I don't know. Every year is critical, he said. I don't find this year to be more or less critical. I feel good about our momentum. Obviously, we're going through some adjustments right now that are painful. Yeah, laying off 10,000 staff could be classed as a painful adjustment, I'm not going to lie. But I think it's necessary, and it is really to set us up and the team for long-term success. This week captured both the peril and the promise facing Xbox right now. On Tuesday, Microsoft announced a drop in net income for 12%. MILF Manor review tomorrow for the corner. I wish. I've tried so hard to try and work out exactly how to watch that. Where did I go? Tuesday announced a drop in net income of 12% for the most recent fiscal quarter compared to the prior year. Xbox gaming hardware and software were down by similar percentages, and Microsoft said nothing about the new subscribers to its Game Pass service that it had gained since it crossed the 25 million mark exactly a year ago. Then on Wednesday, Microsoft provided a sleek and streamlined look at its upcoming games in the Development Direct livestream, copied right from the Nintendo playbook. Forza Motorsport was seemingly quietly delayed to the second half of the year, but looked beautiful and immersive. Arcane's co-op sandbox vampire shooter Redfall got a May 2 release, and real-time strategy spin-off Minecraft Legends will hit in April. To cap things off, Tango Gameworks, maker of Evil Within, shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush on Game Pass, a colourful rhythm action game that's from left field that is already becoming the first undisputed game hit of 2023. That feels very much like Sunset Overdrive. "2022 was too light on games," Spencer confessed in his IGN interview. 2023 shouldn't be, thanks to Redfall and Starfield. Bethesda's much-anticipated answer to the question, what if Skyrim was in space? But both of those games were technically supposed to come out last year. Meanwhile, Hi-Fi Rush, like Obsidian's Pertinent before it, is shaping up to be critically acclaimed Game Pass release that might be too small to move the needle on Xbox's larger fortunes. Spencer remained vague on when asked how successful these games were, or their impact on Game Pass, whose growth reportedly stalled on the console. I think that the creative diversity expands for us. My brain stopped working. I think that the creative diversity expands for us when we have different ways for people to kind of pay for the games that they're playing, and the subscription definitely helps there, he said. Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Starfield, and the new Elder Scrolls Online expansion are all due out in June, are all also from Bethesda, which Microsoft finished acquiring in 2021. The older Microsoft first-party game studios have either remained relatively quiet in recent years while working on their next big projects, or in the case of 343 Industries, were recently hit with a surprising number of layoffs. Following the news of cuts last week, rumours began speculating to swirl that 343 Industries, which shipped well-received Halo Infinite's single-player campaign in 2021, but struggled with seasonal updates for the multiplayer component in the month since, was being benched. Don't you fucking dare. The studio put out a brief statement over the weekend saying Halo was here to stay, and it would continue developing it. Spencer doubled down on news in the interview with IGN, but provided little insight in the reasoning behind the layoffs. Where Halo Infinite's previously touted 10-year plan fits into that remains unclear. Halo will remain critically important to what Xbox is doing, and 343 is critically important to the success of Halo. No shit. Got some other things, some rumoured, some announced that they'll be working on, he said. I expect we'll be continuing to support and grow Halo for as long as Xbox is a platform for people to play. It's hard to imagine Nintendo talking about Mario with a similar sounding lack of conviction. Okay. Moving on. More like the death of Halo. I'm going to be really disappointed if they can't pull their fingers out of their asses, honestly. Aussie spent 24 hours in limbo as Auckland floods cause airport chaos. A 15-year-old flying solo was forced to spend 8 hours on the tarmac before being released into the terminal with no staff to help. A teenager flying from New Zealand to Australia alone was confused and lost after being kicked off a Qantas flight at 2 a.m, along with other passengers who spent 7 hours on the tarmac. That's according to Ava Sycamore's mother, Renee, who shared her daughter's stressful experience being stranded overnight due to the floods overwhelming Auckland Airport. Miss Sycamore said that she spent all of Friday night worried about her 14-year-old daughter, who had become embroiled in the mess thanks to a sliding doors moment. Okay, so she's 14, not 15. Brilliant journalistic integrity there. As an elite junior player for the International Tennis Federation, Ava decided to fly back to Sydney a day earlier than the other players, meaning she would fly alone, a rare occurrence. Ava was booked on to fly Qantas flight QF148, which was cancelled after passengers had already boarded the flight at 6:15 p.m. on Friday. A state of emergency was issued for the New Zealand city as heavy rain caused floodwaters, which inundated homes and businesses. Auckland Airport itself was flooded, causing chaos for passengers. Fortunately for Ava, she found a fellow ITF junior player and his mum Susie on the same flight, but they had many headaches ahead. Flew alone at 6 years old. I think the first time I flew alone, I was 10 or 11. Due to the weather, the passengers were stuck inside the plane at a standstill for 7 hours. Miss Epstein said that they were informed at 2 a.m. that the crew had run out of food and water and that they had to get off the plane as it wasn't leaving. Despite reports that passengers were allowed to exit the plane to stretch their legs in the aero bridge, she said that was not their experience. She said that when they were released into the terminal, there was no staff to tell passengers where to go, when they'd be flying again, or whether they could get their baggage. After a while, she and the two children went to the Qantas lounge to try and sleep until the next morning. She and her son were luckily allowed to accompany Ava, who had flown business class. People were sleeping on the floor or wherever they could, but I couldn't sleep at all. I was riddled with anxiety about what we were going to do. But at 11 a.m, they were told again to leave the terminal. The Qantas staff, said our flight was cancelled, they couldn't accommodate us, but it was in the middle of a state of emergency and we had nowhere to go, no bags, and no one telling us what to happen. It was only due to gaining confidential information that they were able to plan their next move. An airport worker told her that there would be no flights until the following Sunday morning due to the weather, and that they should find a hotel before they book out. But by this point, none of the nearby hotels had any availability. Shit, look at the airport! It was 3 p.m. when we finally got a text from Qantas saying that we wouldn't be flying that day. We were checking into a hotel right as we got it. Luckily, we got that inside information earlier. But the frustrations didn't stop there. As they got into bed to rest at 6:30 p.m, the Qantas texted to say that they're releasing their baggage and should return to the airport. After inquiring through her inside contacts, she was told the bags could be kept at the baggage tracing unit. She said they would have appreciated clearer directions and transparency from official channels. At no point was there anyone to tell us when the flights were likely to resume or whether we should stay at the airport. I've had no sleep in 24 hours. That's pretty fucked up. Ava's mum, Miss Sycamore, said she understood the natural disasters happen unexpectedly and disruptions were inevitable. I understand why they couldn't fly and were putting safety first, and that in many ways they couldn't help the situation. We just would have liked more communication, not just for Ava as a minor, but there were other people with babies, elderly people, and no one knew what to do. According to the update on the Qantas app, as of 5 p.m, their flight to Sydney to Auckland was scheduled for 6 a.m. Sunday. The severe weather affected all airlines and is estimated to have impacted 3,500 passengers. Qantas has been contacted for comment. First world problems, did you ever raft in the baggage? Like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Oh, crikey. Oh, check this one out. Man left with swollen and disfigured face after brutal 30-minute slapping contest. A man has been left disfigured and swollen right after taking part in a brutal slapping competition in Romania. I've seen some of these. So, like, specifically, there's the big burly guy and the young, like, weird-looking kid, basically. He's probably, like, in his 20s. And he just gets knocked the fuck out. Like, from the hit. He's just bang, and he's down. Slap fighting is the latest sports craze to sweep the internet and consists of two competitors taking it turns to hit each other on the cheek. The results of the contest can be devastating, as sometimes the only limits are how long a component can take the strike across the face. Slapping contest. There's your sign to stay away. Power slap on Rumble. Yeah. Slapping contest still looks rough. Results of the contest can be devastating. Yeah, the Daily Star reports that a video has emerged from the RXF Slap Fighting Championship and shows disturbing footage of one man's face swelling up after a sustained period. Fuck! Oh, whoa. Oh, the clip from the Romanian MMA promotion posted by Matsaski88 shows the left-hand side of the competitor Kormsa Soren's face completely disfigured and covered in blood after a 30 minutes of indefensible slaps from his opponent. Oh! I don't know. Surely they'd switch sides. Like... yeah, you know this video is getting age restricted. Carried on their strike battle for an astonishing 10 rounds. Remarkably, according to the Instagram account, Soren still came out the winner of the duel, claiming the championship belt and a top prize of 5,000 euros. 440 pounds. Sorry, 4,400 pounds. However, the competition has caused controversy online as social media users voiced their concerns. One user commented on the Instagram clip, "Prioritize human safety. How is this fair? The other guy is way bigger. Shouldn't it be more regulated, putting them by weight or something?" Still trying to figure out how this is a sport and they're fighters. It's a big nope. So impressed not. He could have quit at any time. It's a Will Smith slap from hell. I would slap the shit out of you. Like shit, like you can actually see that like there's a little bit of blood there as well. Like that's, and all the powder from the different hits. He's, nah, screw that. That's a heavy hit. Alright. Parents, let's get your opinions on this one. They need a thonging competition. See, the hilarious thing is that anyone outside of Australia is going to think that we're talking about, like, giving people wedgies using G-strings. Only men would think that this is a competition. Really, guys, what the fuck? Hold my beer, taken to the next level. Don't point that smelly finger. Mum slammed for telling 11-year-old daughter she can't sit on her lap anymore. Mum has been criticised after she told her 11-year-old daughter she was too old to sit on her lap and ask for cuddles, as people urged her to cherish these moments. For many parents, watching your children grow up can conjure a mixture of emotions, and it's not uncommon to think your little one is growing up too quickly. But one mum seemingly claimed her 11-year-old daughter isn't growing up fast enough, as she still wants to sit on her mum's lap and ask for a cuddle, which her mum thinks she's too old for. The 38-year-old woman says her daughter is very small for her age, and as a result gets treated like a younger child at times, even though her mum believes she should be putting a stop to things like cuddles. The mum admitted she's worried she's hurting her daughter by letting her continue to sit on her lap. When she tried telling her daughter to stop, she just left the youngster really upset. In a post on Mumsnet, she said, "I'm married to my husband and we have a daughter together. My daughter is very small for her age and as a result gets treated like a younger child at times. She loves hopping up on my husband's laps and cuddle with us on a chair or a couch. Been thinking she may be too old for that sort of thing and maybe I'm hurting her by letting it continue. Yesterday she tried to hop up on my lap and cuddle. I told her she was too old for that and to get off me. She got really upset, got off me, went to her room and slammed the door." Her mum also thinks she should get a job. Children are never too old for cuddles? No. She hasn't tried to get on my lips since then, and things have been tense between us. She doesn't talk to me unless she has to, and when I hugged her goodnight last night, she didn't hug me back. Really feel guilty because I obviously hurt her feelings, and I feel like she might be too old. But I feel like she might be too old to be sitting on my lap. Commenters on the post were quick to point out that to the mum that her daughter's stance on cuddles will likely change when she becomes a teenager, and urge her to cherish the moments while she can, because she'll miss them when her daughter no longer wants to cuddle. Oldest is 10, still cuddles, and it's great. Won't stop until he wants to. Soon enough, kids won't want that time with parents. You twisted bitch. Enjoy it while they're young. Rejecting an 11-year-old was a bad idea. Yeah, you can see by the way that the child has responded as well. Like, that's just not okay. Like, the child was clearly upset by it, was seeking, like, affection from a parent, and she's just being rejected like that. That's not okay. Mum needs to send the daughter to the unrain suit from The Simpsons. One person says she's not going to want to cuddle you for much longer. Maybe have a year left, and you're throwing that time away instead of cherishing it. While another said, I didn't realise there was an age limit for parental affection. When I'm too big for my mum's lap, I'll start holding her. My 16-year-old still curls up for snuggles. And a third wrote, you handled that terribly. You made her feel like she's done something wrong. People sit on their parents' laps at all ages. Seen full-grown adults do it. I don't know if I'd do that, but... she's a child. No wonder she's upset with you. Your kid obviously loves you and shows you through cuddling. Yeah, her language of love could easily be physical affection. And you've just, like, decimated that. No matter what, no wonder she's upset with you. Shows love through cuddling up with you guys and feels comfortable. What you did is basically making her feel embarrassed or bad about showing you guys love. Yikes. Too many parents today are selfish children themselves. This isn't surprising, but it is. Should have redirected the cuddling in a different way. There you go. You have it from a mental professional. Not that this is in any way legal or medical advice. Mother would likely reject a large doggo from jumping on a lap. Probably. My oldest still sits on my lap and hugs me when she can. She'll be 27 next week. But we don't still call it cuddles. Your kid obviously loves you. Oh, yeah, I read that. Any comments? No comments on that post. Interesting. She'll be sorry when her daughter grows up and moves away. This is how we end up with professional slappers. Oh, crap on a cracker. Alright guys, well that's everything that I had for today, and we're officially at 2 hours 45, so I'm going to get out of here and spend some time with the family, given that it's Sunday, it's about to hit Sunday afternoon, so kid won't want to touch the parent again for the rest of their life. Parents can affect the rest of the kids with thoughtless actions. So, where are we? As always guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everyone that sent through Super Chats, and thank you very much for watching. As always, I just ask that you try and make the world a little bit of a better place, even if all you do is smile today. And hopefully I've already done that for you. So, as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Spay and neuter your pets if appropriate. And I will catch you on the flip side. See you tomorrow, guys. Cheers. And yeah. Just one last time. Also, remember, if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. Double check whether or not you're still subscribed. Because I really, really need to try and get away from this 8,500 sort of lull period. And I need to get things pushed out there. So, as always, guys, love you all. Thank you for being here. And I'll catch you later. Bye. Wait, where's the streaming gone? Streaming? Nope. There it is.